No.
Oh no!
You counted down and everything. You said it was.
Perfect. Yes.
Oh no!
Hello, everybody.
Welcome
We have no fearless leaders, so I guess we're GMing ourselves today. That's wild. Okay, that's very interesting.
I have never paid attention to what you said in the opening. So hello everyone. Oh
yeah.
Okay.
Hey everyone, time for announcements.
Thank you, Seth.
No problem.
Welcome to Manifest, the RPG actual play on Twitch on Waypoint Live channel. I'm Addie. This is the rest of the team. They have little placards so you can figure out who they are. And
I'm back.
I'm gonna do.
They can hear me.
No, we've skipped. We've gotten through your part. We're to my part.
Well, welcome to another episode of Manifest Actual Play. Addie, do we have any announcements?
We have the same announcements we have every week. No new announcements. I feel like Pinky in the Brain a little bit. Like, what are we going to do the same tonight? Oh, try to take over the world. Yeah. Anyway, I know that's not how the thing goes, but I didn't want to do that. Okay, so today we... This is what happens. Today, I am doing the announcements. So for those of you who love the premium content that we provide to you, and you want to make sure that we appear on your feed and you get a notification every week, you can hit the follow and subscribe buttons here on Twitch. They are, I think, down this way, as established in the past couple of weeks. If you want to support us and help us bring the quality of the stream back up to its best levels ever and beyond, you can subscribe to us. All the money that we receive goes straight back into the stream to give us cool art, like you can see in our little overlay. Also music and kind of all this other wonderful stuff. And for those of you who have a have a Amazon Prime account, you also through Twitch have a complimentary a Twitch Prime subscription included in your Amazon Prime, and you can give that to one channel every 30 days. So if you have a Twitch Prime, or if you have an Amazon Prime account and you'd like to support us, please do hit that subscribe button and follow the prompts there. Over the past basically all summer, we have been listing some charities that we love and support, and would love and are putting them on sort of blast, so that if you have the time or energy to give these wonderful causes that we feel very passionate about, some of your time or your money or your platform, we've got those here for you. We've got blackmamasmatter.org, which is an advocacy group for women of Black and women, Black, Indigenous people of color, and specifically women of color, supporting them through the through maternity, because Black women are more likely by like almost 4 times than white women to die during pregnancy and the postpartum period. And this group does a wonderful job of advocating and providing resources to those women who definitely need a lot of support because they're not getting enough. Then we've got the Trevor Project, which supports LGBTQ youth. through some of the most trying times. They are some of the demographics that have it worse as teens and young adults. And this support network is a literal lifesaver for many of them. They have branches in cities all over the world, and they are certainly a worthy project or organization. And you can go to their website as well, which is trevorproject.org, to give them your time or to see how you can help. We've also been advocating for people to find their local bail project, which is designed to donate to people who are protesting the current social stuff. Oh no, I lost my train of thought. The current social climate, and trying to make positive changes by protesting, and other. What's the word? Everyone, help! I need help. I need an adult.
Demonstration.
Thank you so much, Tommy Cotton, everybody. That is much needed way to bring equality into our society, and you can find that by googling bail project and then your city's name or city nearby you. We've also got blacktrans.org. I feel like this list just gets longer every week. The blacktrans.org, which helps trans people, particularly those of color, not only during their transition and helping them find the health care they need, but also advocacy and providing them safety resources as well, which is an extremely worthy cause. And RAINN, which is RAINN.org, which is another wonderful advocacy group and support group for those who also, for those of you who have yet to grab a pre-order your copy of Manifest the RPG, switching gears, no transition, you can still secure your pre-order today on Manifest the RPG's backer kit. You can find that by Googling Manifest the RPG and going to our website and following the links through our Kickstarter or at backerkit.org/Manifest the RPG. The pre-order store will be open for just a little while longer. As soon as we send the files to print and that's out of our hands, we're going to be closing our pre-order store. So grab yours pre-order today before you can.
The URL for the backer kit is a little more complicated than that. I've posted it in the stream chat. To anyone not looking at the stream chat, it's the simple URL of manifest-the-rpg.backerkit.com/hosted_pre-orders. It's like almost easy, but then there's hyphens and underscores.
Wow. I don't think we had a choice in that, because if we had a choice, we wouldn't have done that.
The quickest and easiest way is just search Manifest the RPG backer kit. It's like the first thing that comes up. or go to our website. All right. With that all taken care of, before we jump into any announcements, we got this cool character art from Cape May. We synced it up to some music. Let's get all of us. Let's transport our minds to the world of Manifest. All right. Time for a recap. Kinsey, Pax, and Roland have been in Tobias Station for a little while in the middle of the Badlands. A very prominent and centrally located way station in the middle of the Badlands. They arrived here and quickly started to feel as if something was amiss. Pax sensed some injustice in the makeup of this station, and she put her foot down and said, "Let's do something about it." So these three began to orchestrate so that they could buy a bar and establish themselves as regular denizens of Tobias Station while they work in secret to pull at the strings and eventually undo the unjust ruling, leadership of Captain Morales, the captain of the security for the station, and the station master, whose name has come up a bunch. Eddie Copeland. Captain Deandra Morales and Eddie Copeland, the station master. Mostly Morales has been the center of their attention, as she seems to kind of groom urchins and orphans to become her extremely loyal security team that kind of keeps everyone here under control. So they successfully bought the bar, and they spent a decent amount of last session fixing it up because it was a bit shot up and it had some blood and everything was bad. Kinsey put money down on a tree, and the bar went from being a run-down, abandoned bar to being possibly one of the nicest bars in the lower levels of Tobias Station. The saloon is called Umbra's, and they got it all worked up and everything. They restocked it. They got everything they needed. Then they went to sleep, prepared to open the next day. The morning comes. What do the three of you do? You're all sleeping at the saloon now, right? So Pax is sleeping on her lofted bed above the door into the back room. And I don't know, Kinsey and Roland, do you guys have like a bunk in this at the side of the room, or do you have separate beds?
I thought there were bunk beds, I think.
Well, it was gonna be triple-decker bunk beds because I thought that was fun, but then Pax sort of nixed that, so I've made a hammock.
Roland's in a hammock.
I made whatever bed structure you needed.
I mean, all I really need is like a sleeping bag in the corner, but sure, if you're offering it, it's like probably like a single like mattress stuffed with hay.
Sure, I did that with my own two hands.
Cool. So you have a bed off to the side, a hammock, and then a lofted bed above the door. And morning comes. It is exactly the same amount of dark as it was when you went to sleep, because you're underground in a station. There's no sunlight here.
I'm already awake, having gone to help Wanda and Shirley for the day.
Shirley didn't have a whole lot for you to do today. Wanda lets you sweep up her lot for her as she's setting up. She gives you a cupcake, thanks you for your time. Shirley doesn't really have anything for you to do this morning, so that's a quick visit. And then, is there anything else?
No, and then I come back to the bar.
Cool.
Yeah, no, we open. We're bleeding money every second. We're not selling drinks.
Okay, cool. Harry was supposed to start today, right? Yeah, so she's there.
Yes.
She's there in the morning as you guys are kind of, you get all the lights on, I suppose Kinsey puts on some music on the then you don't know the name of this of this woman who's singing, but she's got a really like kind of rambunctious, like almost rock style type. It's something you've never listened to before. Door to the bar opens up, and in comes Harry. She looks around, a little surprised at the progress that's been made. Well, all right. Hey.
So this is Roland.
Hey.
Hi.
This is Ken.
All right. You guys can call me Harry.
Yeah, so you can hop behind the bar, or we have a little bit like sweeping or whatever to do, but yeah. Did you figure out that lock yet?
I figured I had to, rest up before, this is my first legitimate job. So I'll get to it. But, why rush it?
Sure. Take your time.
Yeah. Well, I don't see anyone to make drinks for, so I guess I'll clean up a bit.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah, and so she starts, finding like spots where there's still like residue from you guys working, and like, does like some sweeping and cleaning in the back area, and she does reorganize like Kinsey's kitchen.
No, I had that there for a reason. Oh.
Well, it was a bad reason, I imagine, because that doesn't make any sense that you would put. Why would there just be a random thing of spice with all the essential stuff?
Spice is you understand? We have an entire dish based around this spice.
Okay. One can go with the other food stuff, right? Over here.
No, because it has to be there because I'm going to use it when I make the risotto. I mean.
Hey, you know what? Fine.
Here,
it's your kitchen. No, it's fine.
No. Let me make you breakfast and you'll understand, okay? All right, I'm going to whip you something up, and I do so.
Okay. Yeah. So, there's not a skill for cooking. So, I think ultimately, since you are cooking in a non-camp based environment, this is probably either you know what? Let's just call it it's either a lore check for knowing recipes, right? Or it can be a determination check to just discipline is what I mean. Discipline is what I mean. That it can be discipline as you just kind of figure it out and feel out what's right.
Very, very close to each other. Reroll. So should I?
See, my thought was it's either a personality test as you like really bring yourself to the dish, a reasoning test as you like really follow a recipe, or a tenacity test as you throw things at the pan and hope the fire.
Right.
Yeah, it can be a straight attribute tenacity also, if that's preferable.
I would love that, because that's my attribute +4 as the target, right?
Yep.
Yes. Cooking, of course. I know how to do this.
Yeah, she sits over like on like a crate and like rests her feet up on like a shelf and just like watches you get to work.
Ah! All right. So I am going to spend grit on this test because I want to impress her, and I'm going to play to the gallery.
It's It's important to make a good impression on your foster children.
It's true. Well, anyway, that's 3 hits then.
Okay, yeah, you whip up a very nice breakfast for her. You set it down in front of her, and she goes, "What even is this?"
Well, you just a couple of fried eggs on the side, a little bit of Munson spice congee, and I fried you up a kind of bacon sandwich.
She apprehensively takes a bite, and then her face lights up, and then she like dips the sandwich in like the like sauce of the eggs and starts like munching on that, and like starts swirling all the plate together, and she's like, oh my god, this is yeah. What did it say on the bottle? Nice spice? Yeah.
It's a nice spice, isn't it? Hey Roland, it's a nice spice.
Yeah, how many spurs did those ingredients cost?
It's staff meal. You have to feed your staff so they can have the energy to work.
Yeah, Roland, you gotta feed me. I'm a grown girl.
Fuck. I've just realized I'm the only one who's ever interacted with business.
It's true.
Yeah, so it's a slow start to the morning. You guys kind of you unlock the door, you turn on the light, and nothing really happens at the beginning of the day, and then randomly a random just some Yahoo walks in, kind of opens the door and goes, "Finnegan's back open?"
It's called Umbra's now, but yeah, come on in.
All right. He comes in. He's like an older guy with a big bushy beard, pretty dirty. Kind of like scoots up onto the bar, and then Harry goes, "Oh, is that I'm up? Hey, welcome to Umbra's. What can I do you for?" He goes, "Ain't you a bit young to be serving booze?" She goes, "Ain't you a bit old to be asking dumb questions?" He goes, "Whiskey." "Excellent choice, sir."
What is the legal drinking age in Tobias Station? Arch.
It varies all around. So she pours a drink for him, takes a spur, drops it in the register, and you guys got your first customer.
We should frame that spur.
No, you shouldn't.
No.
We're going to use it for things.
Why did you say so? Just sentimentality and all that.
You should draw a picture of it.
Well, I can't really draw, but...
Well, maybe it's a good time to learn.
It's a circle with a star in it.
But I never got the hand. How do you make the star? I'd always end up with like one random leg off in the middle.
Ken, right?
Yeah.
You could take a pencil and you could like etch it on top.
Oh, that's an idea.
Yeah. Yeah, if you ever need to double someone's keys, you can do that too for that.
That's very clever. I do that.
Kinsey etches an imprint of the spur on a piece of paper and writes like "first spur" and like pins it behind the bar.
And it looks like a 5-year-old.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. The R is definitely
just learned how
backwards.
to write like a minute ago.
It does take him like a long time to write it too. Like,
that is certainly in the heat of the twin moons.
It's true. Oh yes, absolutely.
It's just like he's trying so hard to like to write it properly. Okay. So the morning drags on. That guy has a couple more drinks. Doesn't seem very talkative. Occasionally he and Harry have a little bit of banter back and forth, but nothing super crazy. Like, he asks for a clean glass, and she goes, "What do you think this is? The upper crust?" Like,
Hey, hold on, no, we've got clean glasses. We have that.
Well, but then I gotta wash this one.
Yes.
What? Really? Okay, here's your nice fresh glass.
Harry, what else were you doing that was so important that you don't have time to wash that one glass?
I was watching Ken try to write Spur.
I don't get it. Don't help me, okay?
I wasn't gonna.
Just, pick up the glass and clean it while you watch. I've been in a lot of saloons. Every bartender I've ever met is always cleaning a glass. Anything else?
Yeah, I guess that's probably true. Yeah. All right, hey. Learning trade secrets. And then the door opens again, and in walks some more interesting folk. You recognize them quickly as they are kind of wearing like the armored vest of the security force. With like the Tobias Station like emblem, security emblem on like their chest. Some of them have jackets, some of them are just wearing shirts under the vests, and they are led by a man who you heard Morales refer to as Leo. He comes in with 3 other security members, who kind of just like look around, and like one of them's like, "I hardly recognize the place." And Leo is the man who's kind of slim, with sharp features, has like a long horseshoe mustache, and like he looks at you through kind of like green tinted spectacles, as he removes his bowler cap, like puts it under his arm, and walks up, and Harry stops. She's been smirking and like being relaxed this whole time, but she kind of perks up when they walk in. And you guys are just around, right? You're right there.
I'll go behind the bar and tell Harry to head on back into the kitchen. There's some dishes to do.
All right.
And I think when she goes in the back, I come from the other door, kind of like wiping my hands, and I rest my hand on my gun, on my pistol.
Sure.
I don't do that. If I'm going to attack, they're not going to see it coming.
Yeah, he looks at you, Pax, as Harry walks off, and he gives you a polite nod and goes, "You, the owner?"
Do I look like it?
"Well, that fellow over there I recognize," he says, like nodding at Kinsey, looking him in the eye. "Him too," he says, gesturing towards Roland. "But, you look like you're in charge."
I'm in charge wherever I go.
"All right."
And I give him a sweet smile.
Well, he sets his hat on the bar, sits at the table. You see that he, the others are armed with, like, they have, like, rifles. They're not, like, holding them. They don't walk in holding their guns, but they have them, like, holstered on their back. He has, like a pistol, kind of, somewhat modified looking pistol, more modern looking, like on his hip, strapped there, and then he has this one gauntlet, or like not really a gauntlet, just kind of this like bracer type thing that runs partway up his forearm and also extends in front of it, like on the top of his palm a little bit. That like it looks a little high tech, and he sets his bowler down and goes, I'll have a gin, if you got some.
Certainly. And for the boys?
They're not drinking. Not today.
We've got juice and water.
They're fine. Thanks.
I pour him a gin.
As you start...
It's clear, so it's probably gin. I've not been back here yet.
Labeled.
Yeah. So you pour him a gin, and as you do, he goes, I'm Leo Riggs. I work for Captain Morales, head of security here. I know your business partners made her acquaintance not too long ago.
It's very nice to meet you.
He takes the drink. He goes, nice to meet you too.
Jane.
Jane. Now, I love what you've done with this place, Jane. Really spruce this place up. I think you...
It's not hard when there's bloodstains on the floor, right?
Low bar to hurdle over, for sure, but honestly, looks like you guys are going to have a pretty decent go of it. I wish you luck. For the time being, I'm going to lay out some of the ground rules of the station. You see, the security force ensures all of the businesses, ensures their safety. And everyone...
Even all the way down here? Oh, you gents.
Even
That's
all
wonderful.
the way down here. Tobias Station is one of the safer places. This joint's history.
So which one of the boys is down here? I'd love to get to know him. Make sure that I could call for him, or if he's down here all the time, I should probably at least open a tab for him.
No, that won't be necessary.
Oh, of course it is. My pleasure. Unless you're refusing. Have I done something wrong?
No, not at all.
Oh, okay.
We're simply here to collect your security fees for the station.
Sure.
A sort of tax for the added safety you can rely on here in Tobias Station.
Mm-hmm. What's your response times?
Adequate.
Oh. Yikes.
Now, this place looks pretty straightforward. It's in the lower levels. So we'll start you at a 15 spur security fee. 15 spur a month. You pay it to one of my men when they come down to check on you every month. You have any problems, you know where to find us.
Actually, I'm brand new. Where can I find you?
Your partners, then. They seemed to know where the captain's quarters were.
I feel like there's some obfuscating here. I feel like I've done something wrong. I'm so sorry.
No need to apologize. I'll just be taking that security fee, and you can continue on your grand
today?
reopening. Yes.
Oh. Is there any way that we could maybe we sort of did a little bit of haggling to get everything sort of ready, and we're a little short, but of course I want to pay our station fees and everything. Would you take some today, and perhaps one of your colleagues could come tomorrow for the rest of it? Would that be all right? Or I could pay you perhaps in cubes or drink?
No. We pay for what we take. And he says, putting out a spur on the table for his drink. Well, what is it, what do you have then to pay? I don't imagine this place is gonna make 15 spurs in one day. No offense meant. Just not a very high traffic area.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm so sorry. We had an arrangement that we did a sort of, well, you see, we have a job that we've been doing, sort of like contract work, and that payday is tomorrow. So we'll have the money. We just don't have it right now. I wasn't expecting you today on our first day open.
Well, word gets around when a nice saloon starts opening up.
Oh, you flatter us.
I'll take what you can pay today, and then I'll see to it that some of my compatriots pay you a visit tomorrow to get the rest.
Sure. Would you mind if he brought down an invoice?
An invoice?
Oh, for our records?
You can keep your own records.
Well, I mean...
If I might interject, you're a privatized security force, right?
We are the
You
security.
stated that your job is ensuring these places. You're running a business, and you don't make invoices for the services you provide?
If you want a receipt, you can take it up with Captain Morales herself.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I'll go get your money.
Much obliged. He finishes the drink, sets it down, puts on his cap. All right there, Eli? Elio!
I think there's 12 spurs in the safe. Is that right?
I have it down as 12, yeah.
Cool. I bring back 10.
He takes the spurs and goes, fantastic. We'll be by for the next 5 tomorrow. I don't need any more drinks. Spurs all yours.
Have a nice day.
You as well. And congratulations. And
I would like to look into this man's soul, Tommy, if there's been enough time for me to read him.
sure, go for it.
Tommy, this is such a good roll. I'm about to know everything this man has ever done, thought, or felt. Okay. So here's the thing, Tommy. It's the talent empathetic, which is unopposed. I've rolled...
I am, however, I'm going to... everyone can have a grit, because I'm doing something too.
Aha.
This is fantastic. So, Roland, with your brief exchange with this guy, you get a few things right off the bat. You can tell he's got the look in his eye, the way he carries himself. Cold-blooded killer through and through. This guy does not really value human life that much. You notice like scars kind of overgrown on like his knuckles, and you like get a sense that like his role in Morales's crew is kind of like right-hand man, like you saw before, but also that he might be sort of like the fact-finding interrogator. Based on like those scars, you see a couple defensive wounds, like scars of defensive wounds on his like forearms as he like sips his drink. You also get the sense that he is reading pacts in the same way that you are reading him. He is sizing up Pax. He almost did it as well as you did it to him. He gets a very, very good impression of Pax. You can tell he is not one who is easily lied to. He is not someone who misses the truth. He is quick, just like you. He has the same kind of skills to like size someone up quickly and get like a really, really good intuitive impression of like who they are and what they're capable of. So one thing off the bat is you get also the sense that the way he moves and like and sits down and converses with you, he doesn't do this particular job often. He is here because the three of you are interesting. Interesting enough, at least to the captain, to have sent him. You also get the sense that he has like a small amount of like, not chivalry would be the wrong word, but like almost like a slight like code of honor, or at least like a discipline to him. You know, like he was very polite, took his hat off and everything. That like you think he keeps himself kind of like lawful evil, right? Keeps himself kind of like in check.
The trapping of society, and he abides by them until he has to punch someone until they tell him what he wants to know.
Yeah, exactly. He carries with him a dark passenger. And you get one other thing, and that is. I'm trying to think of how you would get it. Yeah, I figured it out. When Kinsey got out of the came out the other door, Leo didn't look at him at all. And yet he seemed extremely aware of like Kinsey's movements and Kinsey putting his hand on his gun, and like you saw him like shift accordingly, as if he could sort of like sense that there was danger coming from Kinsey's way. And you would bet the bar that Leo Riggs is eliminated.
Yes, challenge.
Aha, he's made one fatal error, which is there are more of us than him.
So he gets up, stands up, gestures to his three compatriots. They walk out, kind of like sizing the place up, and Leo kind of stops at the bar or at the door, looks up at the vents and goes, "It's the air fresheners. They're a nice touch."
Thank you.
And then he walks out.
Great. Now the only other person to come in and ask for money who's allowed to get money is Teddy Chu. Everyone else we take money from.
Teddy Chu does come in.
And Teddy spurs, and he turns around and walks out the door, right?
Yep, pretty much. He goes, "Got the rent?"
Yep.
Cool. Takes the money, stops, and goes, "It's nice. Good luck."
Thanks.
And he leaves. Cool. So you guys you're actually short a few spurs to pay the security fees the next day. Do you have anything you want to do about that besides just work the bar, or is it just you guys trying to work the bar and trying to get?
We're currently one spur short.
Sure.
If from Eli and from Leo's money.
Mm-hmm.
So one spur is easily acquired.
Yeah. So yeah, you guys are able to get that easy enough. So you're just kind of working the bar. And there is I suppose like after they leave, probably I guess Kinsey, you probably go back into the kitchen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Harry is leaning like against the other door as you come in, and she goes, "Everything all right?
Beachy key.
You guys are gonna pay the extra $5, right?"
Probably.
Uh-huh. Pax,
Yeah.
you gave her your real name, right? Yeah.
Yeah, she knows my real name.
Pax, can I talk to you for a second?
Sure. What's up?
Hi. I very much appreciate the job that you set me up with here, and it looks, everything's great. The thing is, I just asked Ken if you guys were planning on actually paying the 5 spurs. He said maybe. I don't want to be a part of nothing crazy.
Oh no, we're gonna pay our security fees.
Okay, because usually when they come in, people just give them the money, and then that's that. They don't give Leo Riggs of all people 20 questions.
Sure. No, I can understand that. He's generally a pretty spooky guy.
Yeah.
But
He's not someone you ever want to. You don't want to be interacting with that guy.
No, definitely. Only in a very specific set of circumstances do I want to be interacting with that guy. Yeah, so we just literally are 1 spur short. So when they come tomorrow, we're gonna pay the rest of the security fee. It's gonna be fine, and you're not involved in any schemes or anything that Kinsey may have or Roland have. And the only scheme I've got going is, giving you a job and having you around. So, I can basically, I don't know. I feel like you got a lot of potential, and I'd like to help you with that. And those are all the aims that I got for you.
I can't figure out that lock. I stayed up all night. I didn't sleep at all.
Okay.
Is it a trick?
No, there's no trick. It's just extremely hard.
It can be opened.
It can be open.
All right.
So
You
the
can't
thing
You
is,
can't get the lock?
Oh, why? He knows how to open it too?
he made it.
Oh, fool. Can you give me a hint? No, don't give me a hint. Don't give me a hint. I'm gonna figure it out. Screw both of you. This whole thing. It's all one big con.
Oh, I like her.
Can I get another clean glass? Yeah, you can get another clean glass.
Okay, Eli, here's the thing. You can't just get a clean glass because you want one. If you need one, you can ask, and we'll get you one. But like, if you drink a gin, and then you want another gin, but you want it in a new glass, no.
Straight from the horse's mouth. Huh?
Don't call me a horse.
Can't win with this guy. I suppose I'll have a rum and a clean glass.
Yeah, you're getting some.
Cool. So unless anyone's doing anything besides working the bar today, I do think we probably you are correct that the 5 Spurs is not that far away. And surely we can get you guys that. So unless anyone is planning on doing anything between now and the period of time after you pay the security fee in total, I do think we might just fast forward and see how working the bar works in a more like kind of long-term format.
I do want to. I have a short conversation with Pax and Kinsey about Leo.
Cool. Yeah, so you guys do whatever. Basically, I have set it up so that because you guys said you were planning on kind of laying low and subtly like making moves or gathering intel while generally just like legitimately working the bar. I have set up an arrangement for taking those chunks of narratives on a month-by-month basis to see how much the bar makes, how much information you get, those kind of things, what else you're able to achieve. So when you guys are ready to proceed to the next screen, you let me know.
Your bar management sim, Tom. Yeah, so probably like in the evening when we're... Oh God, we never close.
We never close.
We never close. Yeah.
We should really start staggering our sleep schedule up.
Don't worry, I'm just gonna do tonics about it. So, Leo certainly knows what you are, Pax.
I'm a lot of things. Which one do you think he knows?
You don't like him. You don't like the current state of Tobias Station. Probably that you mean to do something about it, and that you yourself are physically quite dangerous.
Oh. Sure. Okay.
You also, I suppose, Roland, you got 7 successes. We can keep piecemealing out as I think of more things you can get.
Childhood.
Another thing was when he like sized her up, and then they kept talking, and then she went to go like do something else. You saw his eyes like scan over her neck, and you think there's a pretty decent chance that Leo Riggs thinks that Pax might be an ex-indentured servant.
He probably knows what you did at your old job.
Okay. Well, now he just has to die.
I'm fairly certain that there are a number of more powerful people in Tobias Station, but I don't suspect that there are any more dangerous to be in the same room with. He's definitely illuminated.
Sure.
None of this is like, you can't handle it, you're not strong or powerful enough. It's more just, I know this, and now you know this.
Yeah. No, it's better to have all the information, but, I think we've bested a couple of illuminated individuals already. What's one more?
Sure. There's something about him, though. It's
the sunglasses.
No, he's much smarter.
Because it's people who are who wear sunglasses.
I'm sorry, no, what did you just say, Roland?
Sorry, what?
Did you just say... No, what... Roland, what did you just say?
I said I think Leo Riggs is much smarter than anyone we've come up against, except maybe the Gati matriarch. She had a lot going on up there.
Sorry, I thought you said that he was smarter than you. I was about to be shocked.
No, I said he's much smarter than the other people we've come up against.
Fair enough, alright.
And there are people who are smarter than me. Did you think that I thought I was always the smartest person in the room?
I mean, that is the persona that you project, yes.
It's because I'm a very excellent con man.
Well, you've conned me for this.
No. I'm just usually the smartest person in the room.
And that I can attest to. That I do agree with.
No, see, the real trick to surviving as a confidence man is to be aware that there is the possibility that there is someone who has prepared more for the situation you are currently in. See, grifting is like jazz, you see.
No.
Jazz.
No. No.
And so then we run the bar for a month.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So, as we move on to sort of a more monthly scope of the bar and your activities around the station, my first question is, who is I mean, you guys don't really have staff, so unless one of you is trying to shoulder the entire way to the bar, I imagine you're splitting it somewhat evenly between the three of you.
No.
I think that makes sense. Yeah.
No. Because Roland still has another job that's going to help us pay our bills until we're profitable. So it's me and Kinsey and Harry, and Roland like does one shift a week or whatever.
I imagine I mostly do the books and then also work on the secret room / potential tunnel.
And like he can tinker in the back booth, but Roland is like not necessarily like doing the like manning the bar thing. And like it'd be great if he would like go around and like do advertising or marketing or something, because like nobody wants to hear that from me or Kinsey. But but I don't think that Roland is like picking up shifts every night. I think Kinsey and I are splitting it with Harry, right? Like Harry's obviously got regular shifts and stuff, and then Kinsey and I are.
Yeah. So I suppose the question is, what bar-related activities, if any, are people focusing on to try and increase the amount of money that the bar is able to make?
Well, I'm gonna do the books.
Okay. You're gonna try and like learn more about the bar industry, so you know like where your expenses may come and go.
Sure.
Sure. I don't actually think that one requires a roll. I think, in general, like you are a smart enough person to know how much money is coming in, and figure out like by the end of the month, like get some more information about like, okay, how much money can we make, that kind of stuff. I don't think that's going to require a roll, because you are a smart person, and if you are focusing on it, this is a thing you can easily track. So Kinsey and Pax, what are the two of you doing as far as bar-related activities go?
I've mostly been staying in the kitchen and preparing the food and such, so I would like to find us a cheap source of food, and I could either wander around to buy a station, like find like a general store that sells things on the cheap, or I could depend on my skills as a trapper and find food for us outside of Tobias Station. So that's what I'm going to do.
Wow. Well, which one is it? Because those are two different kinds of roles.
Yes, they are. Yes. No, I think it makes more sense for me to just scavenge the Badlands.
All right, cool. So yeah, every once in a while, like early in the morning or late at night, Kinsey leaves to buy a station on Umbra and goes on a hunt to try and get some more ingredients for the bar, so that he can expand its menu.
Yes.
So yeah, Kinsey, let's just call it a survival roll. Let's do that.
I do have 2 animal traps. Can I set those up? It's kind of a.
Oh, I was gonna ask for one of those.
Oh, I mean, I don't see why not. I can always make another one if I need it. Sure.
But you can have it, and then we could just make another one. I just want to install it over the door in case I need to trap somebody because they're trying to break in or whatever.
No, that sounds really important. Here, take it.
Okay. I can't actually install it. I might end up just gluing it to the ceiling if you leave it with me.
That will make Roland so mad. I think you should do it.
No, I'll just ask Roland to install it so it looks good, I guess.
All right. Sure. Yeah, I'd like to set up a trap and then I suppose hunt for anything that I can find.
Cool. Yeah. So if you can use up that trap if you want, and you can roll survival. We'll put it at a +1.
Ah, I love that. Thank you.
What about you, Pax?
Sure. So in addition to predominantly being like Dan in Deadwood, just always behind the bar with a shotgun. I am also, I think, going to arrange like weekly potlucks for the community, like the lower levels community. To kind of like get to know our neighbors and invite them over and give them, Munson spice because it's a nice spice, and like sort of a bring a friend, get a drink added to your tab or whatever.
So you want to get involved in your local community. You want to run a farmer's market on Wednesdays and stuff like that.
Yeah, this is like the life that I lived before I was indentured, because my parents had a little general store shop, and so like this is the kind of stuff that they did. So this is well within my experience, though me being able to execute it, that's an entirely different kettle of fish.
Okay. Well, at least for the beginning parts of this plan during this month, I think it's going to be connections roll. You're semi-familiar with the station, but you're definitely like in pretty uncharted territory for the most part. You've only been here for like a week, maybe at most, and you know a few people, not that many lower level people. So we'll do connections.
Well, I talked to that guy that I met, the grocery store guy.
Did you talk to him? Kinsey talked to him.
Into the bar.
He came into the bar and I talked to him. And he was so nice and a little cute.
Up onto the ceiling.
Yeah.
It's true he did.
Yeah, he was afraid you guys were breaking something. Yeah. So we will put you at. We'll do a -2.
I'm gonna use motivational speaker. Okay, so like walk me through your speech. What are you gonna say to these people?
Hi, I'm Jane. I work at the bar that just opened. It's called Umbra's, and it was Finnegan's, but he died, so we took it, and then we want to get to know the community and let you know that it's not just like a dive bar, but you can get like food and it can be a gathering place for the community. And so we'd like to invite you to a weekly potluck we're having, and also a farmer's market also.
Okay, so here's what you shouldn't say of that, and here's what you should keep. Brr.
Yeah.
I do spend grit.
+6. Shit.
Okay.
Take your dirty grit, Tommy.
Oh no.
All right. So
what did I get?
I think it's a
from
net +4.
+4.
I should get a piece of paper. So Kinsey, what did you get on your survival check? How many successes?
That was 4 hits on that roll.
Okay. And Pax, what did you get?
I spend a grit to play to the, or I spend 2 grit to play to the gallery. and then I got an explosion, and so that is 4 hits.
Okay.
It's also, I do finish making what's on Kildun's list.
Yeah. That's not the bar related stuff. We'll get to that in the extracurricular.
The same time frame though.
Yes. All this is we're laying out the roadmap for the month, and then we're gonna see what we have to do. Okay, so that's what you two are doing to set up the bar. So on top of that, what does everyone want to do not related to the bar? What are people interested in doing sort of like extracurricularly, right? Whether it be working for Kilburn or poking around to buy a station or something else.
If this
you don't, and this is if you you don't have to. This is some of you are very busy.
If there's time for me to do anything else, I do want to just start getting to know the people who are important here. So I don't care about somebody who owns a booth in the middle of the big bazaar. I care about the person who decides who gets what booth in the middle of the big bazaar. People like that.
Okay. Yeah. So that will be I do it that way? That's silly. All right. So Roland, it's a connections roll. There's we'll put you at the same -2 that Pax was at, basically, for not knowing the station too well yet.
That's 3 hits.
Okay. And Kinsey and Pax, anything the two of you are interested in getting into over the course of this month besides working at the bar? You're both quite busy with working at the bar, but
Yeah.
But if there's anything else you'd like to achieve in this month's time, now would be the time.
So I did want to continue to mentor Harry a little bit, and make kind of an obstacle course or something. I don't know, but a secret one, you would the floor is lava, you would never know that it's there.
Oh, you want it to be in the bar?
Yeah, because we're spending a lot of time in the bar, and I imagine most of the time that I spend with her is in the bar. So
during the slow times when there's not not people around, you want to tell her you number different pieces of furniture or spots of the bar.
I have a bunch of squishy balls that I throw at her while she does backflips and shit.
It's tossing oranges at her.
I want to do that, and then I want to continue to every morning sort of help out all of the elderly women in Tobias Station. Just sweeping and generally just being a nice, sweet person. So when I become a serial killer, they can be oh, she didn't seem like it at all.
Yeah, I mean that feels like part of what you were doing for the bar, anyways. So
okay,
we'll not roll another test for that. What about you, Kinsey? Is there anything else besides focusing on working the bar that you wanted to get into?
Did we want to follow up on my family connection, or are we trying to stay as far away from him as possible?
I don't not want to follow up on it, but I also don't want to send you there alone. But also,
no, absolutely.
I don't have any time to go with you, so...
I'm sorry, I don't remember what this is.
Gray Foster?
Yeah, professional party.
Oh, not your family
No,
The
not
family.
my family. I know I have come upon a lot of my family members randomly
mean,
in the past.
Towards the end of the month, you should like get Roland to write like in really good penmanship an invitation for him to come down for free drinks and a card game or something.
It's not a bad idea.
Okay. So, I mean, that
do
doesn't
want
take
to-
much time.
Throughout the month, while Pax is mentoring Harry, I would like to just toss out very obtuse, broad, unhelpful suggestions for the lock. Things that sound like maybe they're very quite deep if you think about them, but in no way assist in opening it.
Yeah. She, for the first like half of the month, she's like, I thought I told you I didn't want any hints, but thanks. And then like a little bit later, she's like, like seems a little frustrated, and you throw something else out, and she goes, oh, right, because it like connects to something you said before, so like it seems to add more context. And then like the third or fourth time you do it, she's on to you. She like is like in the middle of like balancing on like a chair that's like only on two of its legs as Pax is throwing oranges at her, and she like tumbles down to the ground, and you throw something out about the lock. She sits up and goes, Pax, am I allowed to tell him that he's an asshole?
Yes.
Hey, you're an asshole.
Sure, but I know how to open the lock and you don't.
Yeah, well, you sure as hell aren't helping me.
You asked me not to.
God! An orange hits her in the forehead.
This is your first lesson from my third of this trial.
Oh man. Okay, fantastic. All of you can have a grit. Also, all of you can have another grit because you did survive a life-threatening situation.
Oh, yeah. Did we evade a predator
You did.
by giving him money? All right.
That's nice to Yeah. Okay. So, so Roland, what are you getting into during this month since you're not overly tasked with working on the bar?
Well, I'm getting to know the various people who are important among the small folk of Tobias Station, and then I just keep building stuff for Kilburn Courier Service.
Sure. What kind of stuff do you want to build?
Well, in the first week of this month, I finished the grav stability harness that I was building. And then I think the only thing left on his list was cryo capsules. So if he's got more stuff, I'm happy to keep building things.
Let's see. So the grav stability harness. Yeah, you finished. Did you finish the second hybrid power?
Oh, there's another one?
Yeah.
No, I did not finish the second one.
Okay. So you finished the grav stability harness. It's excellent quality, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that is 10 spurs.
Great.
And that's within the first week. And then if you wanted to work on the second hybrid power or any of the cryo capsules, he'd be happy to have you work on that as well.
Yeah, I'll certainly do both of them over the course of the month. But let's put another solar panel on an engine. It's technology for this one, right?
Yes.
So I will spend the 2 grit you have just given me to play to the gallery. Count for this explosion. And wait, do I have to? Yeah, no, I do. Hey. I'm so good at crafting when I have grit to spend on it. I finish it in the day and a half.
Okay. So that gets you another 4 spurs.
Okay.
And then, yeah, over the course of the rest of the month, if you want to try and make the 12 cryo capsules he tasked you with,
They're class 1? They're class 2?
they're class 2.
Yeah. Okay, I do the first batch in 15 minutes.
Continue.
Are these would fall under gadgeteer, right?
They're specialty items, yeah.
I make the second batch in 15 minutes.
Okay. Just spend an afternoon making a bunch of cryo capsules.
I make the third batch in 15 minutes.
Okay, one more batch.
This one does take me a half hour.
The
Hold on.
shame.
Yeah, no, definitely takes me a half hour. See, the problem is on my 4 dice, I rolled 3 hits and a natural 20, and I was like, well, I've got a ton of... shit.
Can I, in this moment, can I task Carrie with stealing one of these cryo capsules?
Absolutely.
Without getting caught?
Yeah, roll an observe test.
Okay.
You're at a -2 because you are distracted.
Sure. What observe-based things do I have? Does clear sight apply to this?
No.
Okay.
You're not in a dimly lit, like, you're working in a well-lit area.
I got a 9.
Okay.
12.
So she does do it, but like as she like, so Roland's like in the back, working like in the kitchen. He's like in the little like kitchen area, like the stock room. He's nearby the barrels, and she goes in with a bottle to one of the barrels and like starts filling the bottle with the barrel, and she like asks Roland like, what are you working on there?
Just some cryo capsules. Fires are quite bad on planes when they happen.
Huh. This is for your other job.
Yep.
Huh. I feel like I've seen some of these before from afar. And she like grabs one and like holds it up, like, and is like kind of turning it around, focusing on it, and she's like, "How does it work though? It's just the. What do you do?"
Well, so what you don't do right now in this moment is press the button on the top and throw it, because then I have to make another.
Okay. And like she sets it down gingerly and goes, What about like when you do press the button?"
Well, so the science is actually quite hard to explain, but the end result is that it puts out fires and freezes water, but it doesn't make the area cold.
Well, it makes the water cold.
Right, but here's the thing, it freezes the water, it doesn't make it cold. These are different things.
You got a weird job. and then she does walk out, and you do miss it, Roland. It's like as she was holding up the one and like turning it around and focusing it, she kind of sleight-of-handed another one, like while she, like with the hand that was like holding the bottle. And then as she put the one down gingerly, she like swapped it over to the other hand behind her back, as she like kind of adjusted her grip on the bottle. And then she walked out, and you missed it, and she like walks up to you, Pax. She like, the door opens up, she walks out, and she like pulls out from under her apron like a cryo capsule and like holds it up with a smile. And like just at that moment, Roland, like you're like, you know, you're getting your second one ready, and you count, and you're missing one, and
I'm delivering a see, I have an invoice for these.
and you know like that she just stole one from you.
Just pack them up, and then... Oh no. I've lost one, and I don't know if I got the fuse right. Has anyone seen a cryo capsule? If you do, step away from it. It's live.
Yeah, roll a manipulate test. You're up against a 10.
I have 2 hits over a 10.
Right. Yeah, you say that, she goes, whoa, and like, she like, goes, no, hey, and like comes out from behind the bar. One of the patrons kind of stumbles back, and she like grabs him and pulls him away from the bar. And she goes, it's in the cabinet over there, by the bottles, it's in the cabinet.
Great, thanks. Gonna go sell these for money.
Wait, but you said...
I lied.
What? How do you spend time with that guy if he's just gonna lie every time he says something?
I don't lie every time I say something.
That's the problem. It's pick one lane and I know what to expect. I don't understand, she says, like, to Pax, and I suppose to Kinsey if he is around at this moment. I don't understand how you guys put up with him. Like, he's the kind of guy you can't trust. You made me spill my drink. Yeah, well...
Eli, you're fine.
Eli, I know for a fact that drink was spilled before she pulled you away. I can see it in your eyes.
Got me. That's what you don't know, little lady. Lion's a skill. A skill I don't have.
Bless your heart, Eli.
Let's switch it up to a whiskey. Every time with this guy, he wants a different drink every time. Yeah. So, you get 24 spurs for your 12 cryo capsules.
Such a profitable endeavor.
And that's then, like, that's, you know, you got, amidst all the other things you're doing, that took a decent chunk of your month. So Kilburn looks, he goes, extremely fine work, Roland. So are your joints open up in the lower levels?
Yeah, I'd love to have you come down. First drink's on me.
Sure. I'll make it down one of these days for sure. I suppose that's gonna take up some of your time now, huh?
Sure. I mean, if you've got things you still need built, I've got time in my schedule to make some things.
All right. Well, I didn't expect you to be hanging around for this long. You struck me as a bit of a drifter, but you're setting up roots.
I didn't expect to be hanging around this long either when I met you.
Fair enough. I mean, I'm happy to do more business with you, but for now, I don't have unlimited spurs, right? I gotta turn some of this stuff you made into profit, and you know, get some more money. And once I have a little bit more of a nest egg that I can spend on your services, I got some more upgrades I need to do around this hangar for sure.
If it interests you, the bar always needs things fixed up, you know, things break down, maintenance, just general upkeep. I'm happy to, you know, work for materials for a time. If you've got some things, you know, that seems like a fair trade for.
Might be. I'll have to take a look at what kind of materials you'll need, but I bet we can figure something out. Yeah. Yeah, well, I know where to find you, and you know where to find me if you're in need of some supplies, and you don't want to spend spurs for them. I might have something you can put together for it. I know you do good work, so we can definitely find a way to barter. Absolutely.
Great.
Roland, it's been a pleasure watching you work. I look forward to working with you again in the future.
Danny, this is, I can say without a doubt, The best job I've ever had.
Awful kind of you to say. And he reaches out his hand, shakes yours, and then he goes, and I'll be down by sometime for a drink.
Looking forward to it.
And you take your leave for now.
Okay, we've made rent for this month.
As far as you trying to get like a sense of who is and isn't important, what did you get on your connections roll before?
Just 3 hits.
3? Yeah. It all traces back to Morales. Who gets to decide what and what gets to fly. It all traces back to Morales, filtered through her to the station master. You know that like the hangar bosses basically, like Kilburn, are useful. Like they have a decent amount of sway. You also kind of get the sense, like you guys already knew this, but like the family is somewhat involved in a lot of what goes on around here. Kind of what you get from this is sort of like a continuation of some of the information that Pax already kind of got when she was like kind of feeling out the criminal underworld. The station seems to run to like Morales' specifications, to the point where she doesn't, her and the family have an arrangement of some kind. There's places where the family like moves and get to go around unopposed, but at the end of it all, like the security team is like the law of this place. So like basically the family has to pay Morales for her services, looking the other way. Whether it's in payment or in kind, you're not 100% sure, but you know that they're kind of in bed together, where like Morales is like on the family's take basically, and because of that, she kind of rules over the station with an iron fist, makes sure that like no other crime happens except for what the family wants to have happen, that kind of thing. Those are the kind of things you're able to figure out just from like you basically like you go to some of the other saloons, talk to some of those people who run those saloons, and Kilburn's able to like introduce you to like a couple other like hangar bosses, and you just kind of like make brief acquaintances with a lot of people and gather a little bit of information just from time spent just kind of like having a few drinks here and talking to some people like in passing here, those kind of things.
Cool.
All right. So, Kinsey, was there? I forget. I feel like I asked, but I can't remember what you answered. Was there anything else besides working on the bar, or is that your primary?
There
focus?
is one thing that I would like to do.
Okay.
Anytime that Roland is out, working for Kilburn or sleeping or just not in the bar, I'd like to work on the jukebox.
Okay.
Because I told him something, but I have made a promise to somebody else.
And what is that?
I would like to insert one of my Bobby Klein cartridges into the jukebox, but I don't want it to have the number displayed. I don't want it to be an option. I just want to have a very specific set of buttons that I press. I can put it on if I so choose.
Like no money in the jukebox, like, and then like you press a few buttons and then you put money in the jukebox and press another button and that puts it up.
The tracks memorized, so it's not like I just I press 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. Yeah, you're able to do that for sure. I suppose if you want to do it in a way where Roland doesn't realize that the jukebox has been tampered with, let's call it. I mean, it's a technology roll. You got to roll technology.
Technology?
Yeah.
Oh, great. That's fine. I can try, can't I? Alright, so it's a target of 4.
So
but I
wait,
do
this
roll
is-
4 dice.
Yeah,
Without a reroll.
or you shoot the moon.
That is also true.
and
you know?
blow
Man,
up
if
the-
you shoot
blow
them,
up the
you
jukebox.
burn the bar down.
You know what?
Shoot the moon. I don't want a jukebox. Shoot the moon.
Wow, Pags.
I've never wanted a jukebox.
What's it gonna
Yeah, I'm
be,
gonna shoot
Kinsey?
the moon.
All right.
I feel like I should get a grit as against me.
You know, honestly,
Because you are being affected.
Yeah. I am the defender in this scenario.
Yeah, Kinsey, roll a d20. If it comes up 1 through 10, you succeed miraculously, and if it comes up 11 to 20, you fail catastrophically.
okay. All right, awesome. It's a 7.
Ah, he does it. So yeah,
I'm mechanically bound to
Oh wait,
find out
it's
that
even
there's
better.
Bobby
It's a
Klein.
1. I rolled 1. I feel great about myself.
yeah. You do it while Pax is distracted and Roland's away. You're manning the bar. You're like, I bet I could pull this off. And so it's over the course of the whole month. You like work on it a little bit and then like close it up. You make sure like you're very ginger when you mess with it because you don't want to like damage any of the housings or loosen any screws. You know Roland's very perceptive and might find out that like someone's messed with it. And you're like, no, I got this. And eventually, by the end of the month, you are able to introduce a couple Bobby Klein cartridges into the jukebox. Roland's not. You have new Bobby. You're smart enough to do new Bobby Klein, like ones that Roland hasn't heard, because you know there's like 3 or 4 of them that he's heard a bunch. And if any of those songs come up, like you're caught. So your mother had other ones that he had made, some of his older work, and you're able to slot those ones in, and miraculously to you, Kinsey, there's a point where like both Kinsey and Pax are there, and you decide it's time to give it a try. So you go over, you press the button combination, you slide in a spur, press the button combination, and a song kicks on. A nice little guitar riff. You actually hear like a little bit of that Ophidian instrument playing in the background as well. And he's like, I see an arche and I want it painted black. No colors anymore, I want them to turn black. I see the drifters walk by dressed in drifter clothes. And miraculously to you, Kinsey, like Roland and Pax, completely oblivious.
Yes.
I don't know Roland and Pax. I don't know if you guys enjoyed this song at all, not knowing it's Bobby Klein, but the song plays.
I think I'm working on something, and I have my headphones in. As I'm like down in the secret room, like welding stairs in.
Fantastic.
Wild.
Yeah, and Kinsey, it worked. No one noticed. No one realized they listened to Bobby Klein.
And then if anybody, like, just over the course of the month, or as the future goes on, if anybody seems to really be jamming out, I can say, hey, I've got a couple of leaves for sale.
open up a friggin' coat and be like, you want some cartridges?
Pretty much, yeah.
Great. Okay. So let's see how well your bar did.
Da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da, da-da-da.
I do need anyone, to roll a single d20 for me and tell me what the result is.
I mean, I already shot the moon once, and I feel like all of my luck went into that. So
All right. I'll do it. I'm going to use this blue and red one I've never rolled before.
ooh, all right. Roger.
It's got glitter in it. I rolled a 10. I don't know what that means.
Probably good,
I don't know.
based on all of Manifest that I know.
Exactly half, which I feel like it couldn't have done worse or better.
Exactly half, but not over half, which sometimes is bad.
Yeah. Pretty good.
Okay. So I'm sorry, what was the number?
10.
Perfect. Cool. So are you interested in me telling you the gross and then telling you the expenses, or do you just want me to tell you the difference?
I want to know both.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, this is part of rolling. You're doing the books, right? So,
Yeah, so I had this visceral reaction of like, God, no, I don't want to know any of that. Tell me how much money I got. And then like in character was like, no, I need to know all of the details.
Kinsey's changing menus works pretty well. It actually works pretty well in tandem with
We're a gastropub.
Works pretty well also in tandem with PAX kind of trying to like tap into the community down here and make some friends with various like locals in this area, the lower levels. You become more and more friendly with the grocer, whose name is Alex Woods. He provides some materials and then like helps you kind of get connected with people, and you're able to kind of like host like effectively like the equivalency of like a party almost for like some of the locals, and that like gets the word out about like the food that Kinsey makes for that party. And so Kinsey and Pax actually do a pretty decent job, like with Pax kind of like talking to people and Kinsey like feeding them really well, like getting the word out a decent amount. And your bar averages over the course of the month, not like every day. Some days are high and some days are low. You have plenty of days where there's like only like Eli there spending one spur, getting his like, his handful of drinks and then leaving.
Every bar has one.
But you average over the course of the month about 3 spurs a day. So you end the month with 90 spurs made from the bar. That's not actually true. Sorry. A little over. You average a little over 3 spurs a day because I wasn't counting. I had taken out Harry's payment already. But if we were to talk about Harry's payment also, you make over the course of the month, the bar like gross revenue is 105 spurs. Now you take out 15 of that to pay Harry. You take out the other 5, right, to pay the rest of the security fee for this month.
Sure.
You do have to replace a barrel of liquor, but Roland, you've talked to plenty of other saloon keeps and everything. You guys don't have any trouble, there's basically a nomad pack that comes through, or there's like a handful of nomad packs. Basically like once a week, a different nomad pack lands in the station and just sells a bunch of liquor to all of the saloons. So you guys are able to get another barrel and replace that. That's gonna cost you 35 spurs to get a full new barrel of booze. And then roughly just throughout the course of the month, it's about 10 spurs worth of maintenance. Now, Roland, if you want, you might in future months be able to work with Danny to lower this cost as you do work for him. But for right now, because you weren't 100% sure what you were going to need, it's another 10 spurs there. You also think, Roland, that there's a chance that number might fluctuate a little bit, based because you have put enough work into this bar that it has a variable maintenance. You think that there's a little bit over a 50% chance that you don't have to spend more money to like fix the jukebox or get the soda, like clean out the soda gun or replace any of those like kind of niceties that you've added. So PAX rolled well. So that, I believe, sets us up. I don't think there's any other expenses because you already paid your rent. You paid the security fee for this month. Taking into account the maintenance and paying Harry, you get 40 spurs of profit in your first month.
That's not bad.
That's after rent before the security fee? Is that what you said?
Well, before the rest of the security fee, right?
No, we come out with 40 spurs through this month that no one else needs.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, because you already paid for this month's like security fees and rent.
Cool.
Cool.
I'm just separate bar money.
Open up a business bank account, of course.
They gotta have better interest rates or something.
Also, over the course of this month, Roland, because you already set aside the materials to do so, by the end of the month, you have hollowed out a secret room underneath one of your barrels of liquor that has lights, a couple like pieces of furniture, like a cabinet, no like running water or anything, but like some tables and
a big table to lay out a map on.
Yeah. You got a big table in the center, some good lights, a couple cabinets that can be stocked with various things, whether it's money or inventory or weapons or whatever. You get like the tier 0 resistance base underneath your bar. Cool. So that's the first month. Other things that come to mind, Roland, since you said you were keeping an eye on the books and trying to kind of learn how this worked, you imagine that like other employees could do a decent amount for the bar. They bring in friends. They free you guys up to focus on other things. You also notice that there are a small number of people right now who swing by for like to play poker with each other. And you think if you were to hire, if you were able to find and hire a good dealer for either poker or something like, less, something a little more house friendly like blackjack or faro, you might be able to rake in even more money that way. As the poker table, if you run it, basically you're able to take a take.
Yeah.
Those are two areas of expansion that you identify as possibilities. And then honestly, just you guys putting work into the bar seems to pay off. As long as people are spending time doing that, you're making some more money. But of course, that hinders their ability to gather more information or do other things around the station because you guys have to be open all the time. So yeah, that's what you're able to learn from your first month as bar owners. And near the end of the month, going into the next month, it's kind of a quiet-ish night. You guys let Harry go for the evening. Roland, you're doing some maintenance, like you're changing out like some broken bulbs, and Kinsey, you're kind of smiling to yourself because in secret another Bobby Klein song is playing and no one seems to notice. And yeah, There's a point where Roland like it starts up and Roland like looks for a second, but then is like, nah, it can't be. and then the door opens up, and in walks a familiar face, Kinsey. Standing out quite a bit in the lower levels, an extremely stylishly dressed man with a very tasteful curled mustache and a little goatee walks in, and so I know what I made him sound like before, but that was all in your head. He actually sounds differently because I've decided that he sounded a little too much like Anton Granger, and so I was like, never mind. I'm not using the same voice. I have a different voice. So in walks Gray Foster as he goes, Ken, my good man, I cannot believe that you left me waiting all month to see your fine establishment. Whip me up a drink, bartender. And that's where we're going to take a break. Yeah, we're going to take a quick intermission. We'll be back in about 10 minutes. I have 9:56 on my clock, so we'll be back around 10:06. See you all soon. And we're back.
Tommy.
I'm gonna make a hammy face every time. Okay. So we did during the break realize that because they paid most of the security fee out of pocket prior to going into that month, their bar perfectly broke even for the month.
What you're saying is we made 38 spurs at my job.
Yes. their bar broke perfectly even if you don't take into account the investment in fixing it up. So you guys are still a little in the red, but still that's a very good month for a new bar in the lower levels of Tobias Station. Like, you guys should be proud. Cool. So, moving on. We last left off with late at night, one night near the end of the month, Gray Foster swaggers into Umbra's. He is wearing a silvery white kind of suit with a short crop jacket, very nice red necktie, and like a dark kind of like grayish black like undershirt. He swaggers up to the bar, sits down, and puts out his hand to Kinsey.
Well, if this isn't Mr. Gray Foster, welcome, my friend.
Well, I must say, this might be just the best bar I've ever seen in the lower levels. Now, I don't get down here too often, but as I told you before, I am quite familiar with all the fine establishments, and this one, it could give a few on the main level a run for its money. I had no idea you had such exquisite taste, my friend.
Well, I can't take all the credit, of course. Who is here right now? Who is not asleep? Between the two of my compatriots.
I think all three of you are on the premises.
Sure. Let me introduce you. Jane, I was telling you Mr. Gray Foster, yes?
Yeah.
He stands up and walks over to you and goes, "A pleasure to make your acquaintance, my dear," and like holds out a hand for yours.
Hi.
You go and he takes it in stride. He goes, "A pleasure indeed. Now, Kinsey, I had no idea you had such fine traveling companions as this. Is there anyone else?"
Oh, but of course, there's is Roland still Roland?
What?
Let me send out my good friend Roland, and I'll whip you up something to eat. Have you eaten yet?
I can always eat.
My kind of man, but of course.
Jane, was it?
Yeah.
If you don't mind, I would take an old-fashioned. And he lights up a like long cigar and starts like smoking it.
Oh, so you can still smoke indoors on Manifest, huh?
Okay. And I walk over and I grab a whiskey and I look.
That would be the one.
And I pour a little bit of whiskey. And I like reach across the different juices we have until I feel like
warmer. You're getting warmer.
like
now you got it. Red hot. Not too much now.
And I get all the way through, and like put a cherry in it and everything, and then he's like, "And now, twist for an orange." And I go, "Oh yeah!" Immediately.
Yeah, you just like whip out a knife, like cut a twist real easy, draw. You're like, yeah, and he raises an eyebrow and goes, Takes a sip. That might be the most interesting old-fashioned I've ever had. And then Kinsey and Roland exit from the back.
Thank God.
Yeah, Kinsey finds me like coming out of the secret room, like having in lights now.
Gray Foster's here. I figured I should come back and ask you, do you want to use your real name or not real name?
What not real name do you think I have here?
I mean, you've been using Roland. Actually, did I call you Roland when I might have blown your cover.
I don't... Kinsey, I've moved past this obfuscation of who I am. The people need to know me as me.
You could have told me that before I told everybody that I was Ken. Come on now. Same page.
It was too funny not to.
That sense of humor is going to get you killed eventually, Roland.
Well, something will. Yeah, if Mr. Foster's here, let me just get cleaned up, like covered in like oil and grease and.
Yeah. So you clean yourself off, and then the both of you walk by as he's taking a sip of the old fashioned. He goes, "And you must be Roland. Gray Foster."
Pleasure to meet you, Mr. Foster.
Shakes your hand. He goes, "I was just telling Ken and Jane here that this is quite a fine establishment you have. Now, I don't make it down to the lower levels too often, but this place might just tempt me."
Well, we're helpful to gather more of a crowd here. I think there's no need that a saloon on the lower levels need be a dingy dive. There's plenty of room for class and quality down here.
Such an interesting place for you to have chosen to open up then. A place rife with the kind of thing you're trying to avoid.
Well, we're comfortable in all walks of life.
It's got history, character.
That it does.
Character.
Most importantly, it was affordable.
Yes, I was curious as to how the three of you, clearly new to the industry, were able to put this together so quickly. I understand you've only been in the station for a short period of time.
Well, you could say we are rather industrious.
I'm quite handy.
Now, what is it exactly the three of you are looking to achieve with this fine establishment? I mean, you're punching well above your weight in the lower levels. If you needed an investor to move you up into the main thoroughfare, something could be arranged. I know quite a few people. I could make something happen if it turns out you grow too big for this small little fishbowl you find yourself in.
Well, we'll certainly keep that very generous offer in mind, Mr. Foster. For now, though, I think we're interested in establishing this as a place for people to come and drink and have a good time. Spend their money.
Yes. Hurting a little bit in this late hour, I suppose, but beggars can't be choosers. You are only 1 month old, as it were.
And we've already got an Eli.
Who?
Eli, say hello to the man. Well, he's a local barfly.
Quaint. Now, Ken, you had told me that you were going to regale me with your tales of life outside the station.
Well, I suppose I did mention I have a story or two. Perhaps you could refresh my memory with one of those cigarillos?
I came prepared.
Very kind. And, you know, I suppose since I'm off, Pax, could you pour me a whiskey by any chance?
Yeah. Slosh.
Appreciate it. She's still learning the cocktails.
Now, this need not only be a two-man party. We are here alone. Well, the four of us and Eli over there, but I don't suppose he will be contributing to the conversation. I came down here for entertainment and good company. New company is hard to come by in the station.
You've been here quite a while, then.
I have. I do not live here, as it were, but I do spend an unfortunate amount of time working here.
Where do you call home, then?
I hail from the great city of Markham's Landing.
Markham's Landing, what a place!
Remind me, Tommy, I know Foster is affiliated with the Conham family?
No. Foster is affiliated with the Sheffield family, who
okay.
originates out of Markham's Landing.
Okay.
Yes, when I am fortunate enough to not be needed here at the station, I spend my time walking the old history-filled streets of the factory town. But this station is adequate. The upper crust does get dull from time to time.
Yes, I can imagine the type of people that I saw up there. Not quite as entertaining as the folks down there.
Indeed. But you'll find not that many people anywhere in this station are quite as interesting as three drifters deciding on a whim to start a successful bar.
Well, you know, at some point down the line, drifting starts to get old, doesn't it?
But you three are quite young.
We've had our experiences, I can tell you that.
Well, tell me more.
Well, yes. I could, I suppose.
Sure. Let me tell you about the time we overthrew a nomad pack.
He listens to that tale, like he loves it. And he throws in all sorts of fun like jokes. You get the sense that he just genuinely enjoys, specifically Kinsey's company. But you, Roland and Pax are like warming up to him. He seems starved for like smart, charismatic, and like interesting new people to meet. He seems quite bored, and you guys are his entertainment for tonight.
I do omit some details, like I leave out the bits with the Ophidian clan. Probably Red Wheel is now like the Crimson Killer, and she's 11 feet tall and, you know, covered in spiked armor.
Sure.
Then it turned out she was my sister the whole time.
The Crimson Killer.
Killer herself.
Yeah, he over the course of the night, unless you tried to get anything out of him, he is there to hear about you guys and learn about where you came from, it seems.
I would like to know why he's here to hear about us and learn about where we've come from.
Sure.
Without him knowing, if possible.
Sure. So this doesn't quite fit into empathetic. It's not like getting a read on a person. Yeah, so I think it's an opposed manipulate roll.
Sure. And this is the first time I've met him.
It is.
And I'm impressing him, so I assume my dress is part of it.
By being the subject of his entertainment, you are impressing him. You are trust to impress. Oh, I could have rolled better. He has an 11.
I have a 13 and a 14, so 2 net hits.
Okay. Yeah. So you get the sense your initial guess seems about right. The little bit he does talk about what he's done around the station, giving you recommendations of places to go, places on the upper crust to avoid because they're just blah. But the thing you get is that knowing that he works for the family, you think that based on what he tells you a little bit is that he is here as a representative of the Sheffield family, as different business partners or potential investors in the family's illicit businesses, or basically people who are either a little skittish about working with the family or need a little bit more of a soft touch instead of an intimidation thing. They get paid vacation to buy a station where whatever they're into,
he's a sales rep.
Yeah, and he just he shows them a good time, discusses business with them, and tries to get them to do business with him. That's the kind of he kind of masks it a little bit, saying I work with potential investors of many industries and stuff like that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I assume the reason I know it's all illegal stuff is because I already know he's part of the family.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't say, well, I'm a sales rep for the family.
No. No, nothing like that. Just him talking about how he works as a representative of various businesses that are looking to make connections with each other. He's here to kind of show people a good time. So that's what he's interested in. And he's like, the problem is, too much of a good thing gets dull, and, well, I would have to admit that to buy a station is stagnant and doesn't change too often. So a new business such as this opening up, well, it is quite a treat.
You're muted.
Oh,
so.
you're muted.
I'm sure that it's in an area that most of your clientele would usually not travel, so we are kind of a diamond in the rough.
Well, I suppose I could, on occasion, with the right client, bring them down, but I wouldn't count on seeing me a whole lot for business. I might keep this little gem to myself.
Oh, fair enough. We certainly enjoy your company here.
And then he
The
goes.
station probably doesn't change because the people do, so it doesn't have to.
I'm sorry. You spoke quite quickly. I may not have caught everything. It is quite late, and this is not my.
Well, you said the
First
station
drink.
doesn't change. It's boring.
Indeed.
And so I was just saying that it doesn't have to change because all the people do. And so it's new to people when they come because they're new. Unless you live here, I guess. Or come here often.
I do believe you had the right.
Do you want another drink?
Let's keep it simple. I will just take a whiskey.
And I pour him a drink that's not sloshing because I don't get drinks for Kinsey. He get his own goddamn drink.
Didn't want to have to go all the way around the back of the bar. I'm sorry.
Yeah, a decent chunk of this month's revenues do come from this night with Greg Foster. He spends 5 spurs over the course of the night. He drinks late into the evening with all of you. Doesn't really let anything slip about working with the family. You just got 2 successes, right, Roland? Yeah, so that's about what you get from this exchange with Gray Foster. He seems to be genuinely interested in the 3 of you, whether or not it's because you're just new and interesting and have new stories to tell him. That part seems definitely true. Whether or not it's the whole truth is unclear at this time.
Okay.
He goes, well, I have monopolized a significant amount of your evening, and if I have any hope of making it back up to my hotel suite, I should bid you adieu.
Do you need an escort?
I would never say no to a fine escort to my suite.
Okay.
How kind. And he grabs his coat off the back of the chair, slips it back on. You do notice, like, when he took off his coat, he did have, like a shoulder holster, like, pistol there.
Sure.
He slips back on his coat, stands up, like, dusts himself off, and then presents his arm to you. Shall we away?
I'm like, and I like go to the other side of him and like offer him my arm because I need it for weapons. I need my hand to be free for weapons.
Perhaps we can just walk side by side. Yeah, and you it's like way late. It's like, 3 or 4 in the morning. Some people, I mean, the station, like we said before, it never fully like shuts down. But it's still another like hour or so before people start really setting up their lots again in the main bazaar. So it's an easy walk for sure up to the upper crust.
Great.
While you walk with him, he goes, now, I don't mean to insult, but I cannot help but notice that your skills as a bartender are in the beginning stages.
Oh, no, I don't usually do that's like Kinsey. Kinsey's the cook and the bartender, and we have a bartender as well. I just was standing behind the bar.
Like I said, no need for you to be defensive. I am just curious where your skills do lie. You seem to be one that doesn't talk much. But now, alone, the two of us, perhaps you can tell me more about yourself.
Sure. Well, I met Kinsey. Sorry, that's my pet name for him. Ken and Roland when we were in the garden, and we decided to travel together. And you see, they're like, Ken is a really good hunter and like survivalist and is really smart. And then Roland is like an amazing tinkerer and also really smart and really good with people. But they're both really terrible at like staying alive, and they tend to make people mad at them occasionally. And I help them stay alive.
Yes, I can tell by your stature and, your deftness with the blade that you are quite capable in other arenas. So you escort them to safety, it seems.
Yeah, I guess.
It seems like a good arrangement. And Roland is the one who typically takes care of the business sides of things. He strikes me as a smart fella and one who knows how to massage his sentences to the exact meaning that he means.
Yep, just like you.
Well then, quite a fantastic trio, it would seem. Ah yes, the station is terribly small, and we have made it to my suite. I bid you good evening, Jane.
Good night, Mr. Foster.
He gives you like a little nod, and then walks into the like. What?
Mr. Foster, actually,
Yes.
one thing. So sorry. I don't know if you've. I imagine you already have, but if you haven't, every day at noon, there's a shop down on the main level in the bazaar, with a shopkeeper named Wanda. And she makes fried ice cream, and it's kind of great. And I think it would tickle your fancy.
He raises
And
an
I just
eyebrow.
like turn around and like walk away.
You seem like it's like he's like going through a map in his head, like trying to remember if he's ever had fried ice cream at Wanda's stand. He's like thinking it through, and then before he has a chance to say or anything, you're gone.
Get to know the real people, Gray. Come on. Fancy pants McGee. And then I go and I sweep and I do chores, and then I go back to the bar.
Yeah, it's a long night for sure. But yeah. So of course we get around to the beginning of the next month, where there's security fees and whatnot, which we can bundle into the profits from the bar, unless you guys are planning on spending all of your money in the next unless you guys are planning on spending all of your money right now at the very beginning of the month.
No. I do pay rent out of the revenue from working for Kilburn, so the bar has 25 spurs on hand.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. So, what do you guys get into in month 2 of owning a bar?
I would like our bar to make more money.
Okay. How would you like to make that happen?
I want to find a dealer, so we have like a poker table and maybe also a blackjack table. Maybe like Mondays are for poker and Tuesdays are for blackjack, something like that.
Sure.
I want to see about hiring some more staff, so like PAX is free to like, knock over a convenience store, or
Oh, that's
Kinsey
so
can,
sweet.
go out and hunt a outside monster with powerful, sharp, valuable talents or something.
Oh yeah, is our money tree alive yet?
Yeah, where's our juice tree?
That'll happen this month.
It's going to be ready, I promise. Once we have it, it'll be worth it. You'll see.
Because like I had to talk to that nerd like 4 weeks ago, and I'm still reeling.
From talking to the nerd?
Nerd, yeah.
The doctor, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's so lame. His lameness like just hangs around him like a lame cloud. Sucks.
Well, he's
You look
fine
big,
and rich, so... Well, not rich, but has more money than he knows what to do with.
Yeah, but he's boring.
That I will not argue with. He's pretty boring and kind of stuck up.
Yeah, lame clouds surrounding a lame cloud that droops on everything.
Anyways, where's our juice tree, Kinsey?
That's what I'm working on, apparently, is picking up the juice tree.
Picking up and tending to
figuring
the
out
juice.
something to make with it.
Okay, cool. So you're on juice tree duty. So that's what Kinsey's doing in this month for the bar. Kinsey, that's going to be a survival check. I think any negatives you would have. No. So it's going to be. You mitigate the negatives a little bit by being an experienced traveler, but even still, you're going to be at a -1 to the survival check.
Sure.
Roland and Pax. Roland, you said you were trying to find good staff and find a good dealer.
Yeah, I'm only interested in hiring people who are going to make us more money than they cost.
Sure. So ultimately, it still comes around to a connections roll. But because you're also trying to get a read on them, right? Not you're basically conducting job interviews, right? It's not just about finding people; it's also about like getting a read on them.
Like when you say it like that, it sounds boring.
my point being that you can have a +2 to it because of your various talents and stuff that would allow you to very easily get a read on people.
Sure. Okay.
And Pax?
So I'd like to continue the community outreach. I still want to have our like farmers market, and stuff like that, and then like our weekly or maybe monthly sort of like potluck dinners, like a space for like people to come. Also, I want to start exploring the vents, please.
Okay. Yeah. So that one, I think there's a bunch of different skills that go into that for sure. I think the one it ultimately ends up being is skullduggery.
Yeah. All right.
Because it's there's plenty of stealth and there's plenty of like machinery and mapping things out and stuff like that. But ultimately, the amount of covering your tracks you'd have to do to not like eventually get caught amounts to being skullduggery. So we'll have you roll that.
Skullduggery.
It's a bit of a
auto picker help at all?
No. It's a bit of a complicated thing, so we'll put you at just a -1.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. I'm gonna use pink. I'm gonna use pink dice. Feels important.
All right.
So I'm gonna use pink dice.
Kinsey, what did you get?
That was 2 hits.
And Pax, I guess you're not working at the bar, focusing on working on the bar. That's your extracurricular activity. I guess you said the community outreach thing, right?
Yeah.
So do you want to I guess hold that off to the side. You might have more negatives to that roll because of you being,
because the amount of community outreach I have to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this one you've already made some of the connections. So I think it's ultimately a blend test to try and make friends with more of these people.
Would you be interested in a business owners association? Okay. I don't actually know what my blend score is. But I'm not actually doing the business association. I just thought it was funny to say.
Roland, what did you get?
5 hits.
On your job interviews.
Now, I see here that your last job was a bartender, but you've put on your resume that like occasional management. What does that mean?
Well, sometimes there's rats in the basement, and I had to clean them out, and so that made me a rat manager.
Thank you for your time. I'll call you back if we're...
All right. Is these pretzels for free?
They are not.
All right. Good day. Okay. So that's 5 for Roland. Pax, what did you get?
3 hits for blend.
Okay, cool.
And of course, the farmer's market isn't just food. It's also like little jewelry and knickknacks and like little in-person Etsy stores.
Okay. So Roland, by the end of the month, you will have found a decent amount of candidates that are pretty good. You got 5 hits, so you find you like poach a very good dealer. Like you talk to them a little bit, and then you find like one guy who's just like, you just let me know how much money you want the bar to make. I can make it happen. And you like, you know, he's like, I can balance it. I can make it depending on how much heat you want. I can make it so you know people have no idea that the odds always are working against them. It's up to you.
I think this is going to be a very fruitful relationship.
Yeah, you like have him. You're like, show me what you got, and he like deals you the same hand in poker like a dozen times, and every time like you don't see the trick that he's doing with the deck. He's like, give me 2 numbers, and 2 numbers. You're like 7-2, and he's like 7-2.
Okay, you're hired. What's his name?
His name is Eugene. Eugene Galloway.
I've put him down as dealer, parentheses, cards. Just in case we get like deep in the criminal underworld, you know?
Yeah, and then with that, you also are able to find one more person that you're pretty comfortable, like you think they'll be a good fit for the bar and will be able to like help ease off the load a little bit. Just like doing bartending in general, like maintenance and stuff like that. Like she's a little handy. Like she knows her way around like electronics and stuff, so she can keep the jukebox up to snuff.
Good.
And her name is
That's the high-pitched whirring is Tommy, right?
oh
I think so.
no.
What have you done, Tommy? Yeah, I think maybe like unplug your headset and plug it back in. Aha!
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, we all are in charge.
No.
I fixed it. Anyways, her name is Hazel Lancaster. Okay. So she's kind of an all-arounder. She's, you know, she'll be good at making the drinks. She has a pretty open schedule and also can help you out a little bit with like kind of maintaining the place. Also along the way, you're able to basically do a couple small things. It's not worth rolling because it's all like, you know, class 2 items like for Kilburn.
Mm-hmm.
And that helps shave off a little bit of the maintenance cost. Since your most of your time is busy finding these other people, but but you're able to at least take it down a little bit. Okay, so. Nope, that's not how that works. Okay, so around working at the bar, though, you guys are doing other things around the station, like Pax is exploring the vents to try to learn stuff about them. So, Pax, what did you get on your... so you do have a different modifier, Pax. You have an additional -3.
Okay.
To whatever your roll was before. Where's my pen? There it is. So how many successes do you have?
So I have Wait, an additional -3 to the -1 you already gave me, so I'm at a -4, or am I at a total of -3?
-4 would be the total.
Well, I have 11 grit, so I'm gonna twist the knife.
How? How?
I'm gonna twist the knife. 6 would bring me. How soon do I feel like I'm gonna get in a fight? I'll do it twice. I'll twist the knife twice. I'll be fine.
Okay.
And so I have 3 hits.
Okay.
8 high.
And what is everyone else up to as far as other station-related stuff? That's like not specifically about making the bar run better.
I would like to. It's sort of about the bar, but I think most of my time is about the bar right now. I would like to raise our business profile while lowering our station security cares about us profile. If that's possible.
How do you think you're going to pull that off?
Okay, so do you remember in The Dark Knight where they're like, we're going to do business with this Chinese company, but I want you to look over the books again? And then he's like, yeah, every year they grow 6%, and exactly 6%. That seems fine. I want that. I want a small amount of growth that no one would think twice about.
Like you wanna make it seem like you make less money? Is that what it is?
Honestly, Tommy, I don't know if it's accomplishable, and if it's not, you can just say it's not.
I'm just struggling to understand exactly the concept.
Basically, I want to do like promotion and marketing, right? So people come to our bar and we make more money, but also I want station security to stop sending their guy who kills people to collect our taxes.
Okay, well, at the beginning of this month, he's not the one who comes. Someone else does come.
Sure. But they sent him the first time, and that sort of sets the tone.
Okay, that feels like maybe you don't have the time to work on that this month. That feels like a more involved task to try and do subtly. Like, you're already, amidst, like, doing interviews and stuff, you are able to, like, spread more word about your bar and everything. But as far as, like, trying to, like, do it in a way that also, like, makes you seem, like, basically placating security, that's going to be probably your bar-related task for next month.
Then I think my extracurricular is I wanna meet the shady movers and shakers down here.
You want to hang out in the lower levels and find more.
No, I can introduce you to that. I can pop out a vent and tell you where to go.
Yeah, you definitely get a +2 to this connections roll because Pax already knows a few of the criminals down here.
Great. Let's get connected. Cool. 4 hits on that.
Okay.
I know where my next skill point is going.
And Kinsey, any extracurricular stuff, or are you just focusing on the bar?
I am very involved with this Drosera plant.
Sure.
I'm going to make it work, and they are going to eat their words.
Okay. So yeah, let's get to that real quick. So early into the month, there's a point, Kinsey, where you're working on the bar, and there's a at the door, and then like and like it opens up, and there's Anton Granger. He is looking a little out of breath. He's like, "Whew, I thought you were closer."
No, just a bit of a distance.
Whew.
You didn't have to run all the way here.
No, I was dragging it.
Would you like some help to get that in here?
I
please?
would love it. Yes.
My goodness, all the way. Didn't have a cart or anything.
No, I mean it's in like he has it like on like a little like yeah, it's not like a hover cart. It's like a wheeled kind of powered, like slightly powered cart, which makes it a little easier for him to move it. But he still has to pull a lot more. He's like, I really should service this thing. And you come around and you see like just barely fitting in a frame that can go through like the door is this very colorful, like large plant. It has long, thick, leaf-like like parts to it, and all of them are kind of opened up with these rows and rows of massive, like arm-sized, kind of I guess you could call them tendrils. In these lines, they extend out with a thin shaft, and then have a little ball at the end of them, and they are coated in a glistening, vibrant, sweet-smelling pink substance. And you do notice, like as he is like moving around the cart, they do just like slightly move a little bit, not a ton, but they do move a little bit, like sometimes extending out, like stretching out a little bit. Those little tendrils do, as if to like reach for him. Not like in a fast motion or anything like that, but like when he's like talking to you, you do see that they kind of like seem to instinctively move towards him, so that like if he wasn't paying attention, he might like turn and bump into one or something like that. But he seems quite aware of where they are at all times, and he helps you move it in. It's in this big, massive, like pot, basically, full of like dirt and soil, and you're able to wheel it into the bar and help him get it set. And I do need you. You rolled survival, right? And you got 2 successes. Okay.
Right.
So you do manage to avoid getting caught on the like the little tendrils, like as you're like handling it. He's like, now you must be quite careful. I cannot stress enough. This is a very dangerous plant.
All right. Yeah, sure, of course.
Yes. Now, on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3, heave! And you set it down, and he stands up, and he's wearing like kind of almost like a newspaper cap, like boy, like type hat. And when he stands up, one of the little like tendrils does touch his hat, and it sticks. The hat sticks to the tendril, and immediately that like large like the leaves themselves are like about the width of like a man's torso, maybe a little bit wider, and quite long, like tall, like at least each of these like long like arcing leaves that are like opened up and like laid bare to you are about like 5 to 6 feet long. Some of them are a little shorter near the base and everything, but like the central ones are bigger. And they immediately, like as if on reflex, as soon as like his hat touches it, that tendril curls in, and all of them curl in and just crush the hat as the leaf curls down into the body of this plant. And he goes, "Ooh, oh, yeah, I never liked that hat much anyways." Yes, well, there we are. Did we agree on further payment? Or was it just the 8 spurs? It's in its adolescent form. If you don't get it in a larger pot, it should say about this size. I suppose you know how to care for it?
I mean, I suppose I could use some update. Oh, actually, yeah. I want to make a roll to see if I do before I answer.
Well, you rolled the survival check already.
Sure. All right.
So like you have a basic sense of it. You know that Drosera are carnivorous. Basically, they have a very sweet-smelling secretion on those tendrils that, like, when it lures different creatures to it, and then when they touch it, they get pulled in and then quickly dissolved. Like a person, an adult Drosera might be able to completely dissolve a person in a matter of like an hour. And then it takes a while after that before the leaf then opens up. But like a person is, I guess, it completely digests a person within a day. The person is dead very fast, usually. But like complete and total, their bones and everything being dissolved happens over the course of a day.
Sure.
He goes, yes, and I suppose my tea recipe, right?
Please.
This is a basic Drosera tea plant. Now you're going to need something with protein in there for it to dissolve. There's plenty of critters around the station that you can use, of course, and you load it up with some of these critters and some tea leaves, and then before it is completely dissolved and digested, you get the leaf, and it's quite dangerous, but you get the leaf and you apply pressure, and the tea substance comes out.
Sure. Your basic plant milking. Yes, I've done that before.
Yes. Now, there's, like I said, there's all sorts of creatures you could use for the protein. I find fresh meat is best.
Oh, but of course, I mean, as in most things. Yes, I think I should be able to take care of it, and I'll probably keep it in this pot. I think if it gets any bigger, my compatriots will have words with me. Actually, they might have words with me anyway. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it, though. Yes. Thank you very much. I'm excited about this, and I think this will be a fine addition to Umbra's.
Yes, it can be quite exciting, taking care of a plant like this. Now, I must say, this place looks fantastic, and I do believe I recall you saying you would offer me a drink upon delivery. I mean to take you up on that.
But of course, just let me whip you something up. What do you prefer? Rum, vodka, gin? Oh, I suppose we got rid of our vodka, but a little whiskey. What would you like?
Gin. Gin sounds great.
Sure, I'll whip them up something with a bit of simple syrup and a juice of some sort. And, rim the glass with salt, I think, and this for you. I call it a squonk's tears.
Yeah, he loves it. He takes a drink. Bids you do. He has a lot of business to attend to in his weird lab full of plants. He gets up, takes one last look at the Drosera, nods, and then walks out of the bar.
I suppose I should find a place for this plant where nobody will accidentally fall into it or disturb it in any way.
Well, you do have that vacant alcove.
Yes, absolutely.
The bar itself is not doesn't have like a lot of like empty space, but like the alcove, at least there's only one way that people can approach it. Otherwise, you could put it in the back, but the back is a little too tight of a fit for it. And
I think
so it's either like take out one of the booths in another corner or something like that, or put it in that alcove, I think.
I think I'll do that, and I'll if I can find I think a velvet rope would be a bit too much, but just something that says, "Please do not touch the Drosera."
It does look like a 5-year-old wrote, like, "Please do not touch."
Right. Takes me the better part of the afternoon. Yes.
Yeah, Roland and Pax, you return that day from your various activities to see this large, crazy-looking plant out there, and there's a little like a rope in front of it with a sign hanging from the rope that is etched in Kinsey's distinct handwriting. "Please do not touch."
Why shouldn't they touch?
Oh, actually, I can show you. And can I have traps, a rodent of some sort?
Yes, absolutely. It's like a rat-like creature, but like a little more terrifying and alien.
Oh, yeah. Maybe perhaps an extra eye, I don't know. See, take a look at, stand back just a little bit, all right?
Uh-huh.
Now, I'm gonna chuck it and see if I can hit it on one of the tendrils.
Yeah. So you chuck it and you hit like 2 of the tendrils on the side, and the weight of it kind of like, for like a brief moment, like lowers the leaf down a bit before the like reflexive like tightening of those tendrils wrap around, and the rat gets pulled up into this thing and then crushed. You can hear bones breaking as it gets curled in and disappears within the body of this plant.
Right, so imagine that, but, a person's hand.
Why did you buy this?
I told you he had this incredible tea, and I really think it's going to be, I mean, people come in for...
tea come from?
Well, once it digests the rat, then I can kind of milk the leaves. And it's just an exquisite thing.
Kinsey, that's broth.
But it doesn't sound as appetizing if we sell it as broth, so I'm going to call it tea.
It doesn't.
Exactly. You get it. Look, I'm telling you, a little bit of whiskey, perhaps a dash of lemon, will have people coming from all over the mesa for this.
Josera tea is made out of people. It's people.
Vegetarian tea, which is a thing I didn't think you could say and be true.
Yeah, the recipe for the tea does involve like seasoning the creature in some way, like basically like wrapping it up in certain like leaves and herbs before chucking it into the thing.
Okay, so does this need to be visible? Like, do people need to be able to see it? Does it need light? How's it work?
I mean, it's a plant, so it doesn't need light, right? It has to be able to survive down here.
It does require light, not like it like requires light and certain nutrients. You're able to collect like the nutrients from like outside the station, and also as far as the light goes, you guys spent enough tech cubes and everything. Like Roland can make a couple like the lights in that area suitable for it.
Great. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. This alcove, this is not an alcove anymore. This is the murder tree closet, and I'm gonna build a closet around it because people will not come here if any of them see you feeding this thing.
You don't think they'll be interested? I mean, we could sell rats for them to toss in there. It could be kind of game, kind of like darts.
That is a very different kind of bar. That's not this one.
You don't think?
Okay, well, you can have the jukebox, or you can have the Drosera plant. You cannot have both.
I'd rather have the jukebox, you're right.
Okay, so I'm building the murder tree closet then.
Closet it up.
I love the fact that if someone's like, "Is there a bathroom here?" and opens up the doors, like,
What if you put like a little glass like viewing pane in there? So it's like a little place where you would keep like lizards or whatever. But like definitely don't put any lizards in there.
You want to make a floor-to-ceiling terrarium?
Yes, Pax does not know that word.
Sure, but I want a shade. I want a curtain that I can cover when it's feeding time because no one will come to our
Yes,
bar.
I agree with you. I was just trying to split the difference. I agree. But also, all I can think about is like, hey, Kinsey, can I So, like, what if, like, so you said, like, a human hand, right? What if it was, like, would that eat a whole, would it eat a whole person?
I mean, if you give it
Like-
a day...
Like, it could eat, but it could eat, like, a whole person.
Yes, I mean, that's kind of what it does in the wild if it gets big enough.
Sure.
And this one could, theoretically.
I don't mind this tree being here as long as we keep the terrarium locked. I think it's a great addition to our set of tools that we have.
I look at Roland, and I kind of pull you a little further away from Roland and say, "Are you going to feed somebody to the murder tree?"
Listen, if I murder someone, right? Like, that's a great way to get rid of a body, right? You feed it to a plant in a terrarium. We could provide that as a service. I could provide that as a service.
Listen, guys, I've been thinking about it, and as much as I hate the murder tree, so we are sort of trying to become members of the criminal underworld, and I think worst case scenario, we could probably sell body disposal with the tree.
How do your
That's
minds
what I
go
was just
immediately to
saying.
this?
Kinsey, how did you not think about that?
I just wanted some tea.
I mean, it'll make good tea, right? Because it'll be fresh.
Oh no, you're gonna make people tea? This is going Sweeney Todd real fast.
God, I don't want to drink anything that comes out of that.
I agree. But if people want to buy it, we'll sell it.
Well, good. I think we're all settled here then.
Okay, I'm building the terrarium. We're going to figure out a way to expand the secret room to have it drain down so no one can see what happens in the terrarium.
Oh, wow. Okay, well, first off, all of you can have a grid. And then also, spend a machinery cube and you've got a fully functional terrarium. It can even be, this is a cool, like, Western sci-fi thing. It's got, like, it can be tinted.
Can I spend a tech cube on it?
Yeah, that makes it so it can be tinted.
Oh, there's a little remote and everything?
Yeah, it's...
The
love
tech cube means I don't need a curtain. I can, like, click the remote and the frosted glass turns opaque.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so... over the course of the month, Kinsey, it is a bit hard. This thing, you gotta... To keep it from like wilting or dying, it needs a decent. I mean, it can survive a bit on like something big like a person, but like giving it these like small like vermin, it's usually it catches a big thing that feeds it for like a couple weeks. So you gotta like feed it either a bunch. You have to like you are a rat catcher now. It's like
He's cleaning up the community.
You know what? I did interview a rat manager. Who I did say we would call back if we were interested.
He's not a good employee.
He will not be good at his job. He will cost us more money than he makes, but perhaps if you would like to not catch rats all the time.
I disagree. Kinsey brought the plant into our lives. Kinsey has to feed the plant. If you want a pet, you gotta feed it.
Standard for you can have your pet, but you gotta feed it, you gotta take care of it. Just basic responsibility.
Well, I guess I am cleaning up the community. As you said, Pax, that's...
Yeah. You're improving the community.
So you two get to live out your dreams, and I get to do community service. Perfect.
Listen, excuse me. While I climb back into this vent I've been living in for the past 3 weeks.
Hold on. I'm very curious about what Harry thinks about our murder tree.
Yeah, so she comes in the day after, and comes in. She's like, munching on like a little like protein bar type thing, and she looks and she goes, "Weird tree.
Don't touch it."
Why not? I wasn't gonna, but now why not?
It eats people.
What? Wait, no, it doesn't. Nah, this is another one of your lies.
Okay, but for real, don't touch it. It
No.
eats people.
Sure, it eats people. Well, I can't touch it when it's behind glass now, can I?
Like a little bit later that day, I'm like, Harry, come here for a sec.
Yeah.
So Kinsey's got this new like tree project thing.
Mhm.
Whatever you do not touch it, okay?
Her face like goes stony. She goes, "No, it doesn't. It doesn't like eat people, does it?"
It's a carnivorous plant, and it's extremely sticky. And I think you can probably do the math up from there.
Why do you have a tree that is why? That thing can't be. I've never seen. I mean, I've been around the station my whole life. I don't venture out too far, but that thing can't be local.
I have no idea. But Kinsey loves like the outdoors, and we're making him live in like the equivalent for him of a city. And so instead of getting him like a bunch of like normal trees or whatever he wants, this is what he wanted. And we said, you could have one, you have to feed it yourself. And so he's like catching rats and feeding.
Oh, nasty. All right. I thought when Roland said don't touch it, it eats people, he was
I mean, it only eats people if you let it.
Yeah, I'm not going anywhere near that thing.
Yeah, don't.
No. Why not just like a flower, right?
Well, you know, he paid like 10 spurs for it, so now we got it. Yeah.
What, for that? For that thing that now he's got to go around every day and feed it a bunch of...
Yeah.
I think at this point, Kinsey walks through the door.
Yeah.
Carrying a sack. And he says, "Oh, hey, how you doing, Harry? Did you see my tree?"
Like, she sees your face all lit up and she goes, "Yeah, it's a real cool tree, Ken."
Don't touch it. And I take it back.
She like doesn't know what to do with herself for a minute. She goes, Can I take the day?" Okay, I'll come back tomorrow when I'm ready to work alongside a murder tree.
You know, it's not...
Did you figure out the lock?
I'm gonna figure out that lock. All right. That's Kinsey, Pax, and Roland. Yeah. So what, Pax? You were going around to the vent. That's what you were doing.
Yeah, that's my extracurricular.
Okay. So you got 3 successes on that. You are wandering around in the vents, looking like for the different paths. You get a decent sense of some of the lower level ones. They're bad though. I do need you to roll a negate test for me.
So Roland has a mask, I think. Could I have borrowed it?
Yeah, for sure. If you say, "Hey, I'm gonna go around in the vents down here," I will say, "Take this mask. They seem bad."
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an excellent quality filtration mask.
Okay.
Oh man, my negate is so bad.
So you score 1 automatic hit against airborne toxins, which applies here. You get a +1 to your negate test and +1 reliability as well.
Okay, well that all seems very good, considering that I am not very good at negate tests.
I don't know what that was. That was weird.
Okay.
Me, sorry.
So that is 3 hits total, including the automatic hit.
Okay. So you are able to resist all the effects of being in the vents. They still, even through the filtration mask, it is not pleasant, the smell. It's very stale. There's like, you can see like debris and stuff in the air, like floating around. And you got like the mask and like goggles on. And you're walking through, you're finding connections, and there are certain parts of it that aren't that bad, but there are some parts of it that are really bad. And you're able to kind of find some of the connections to different areas around here. You end up getting like super filthy, and then there's a point where you notice there are some paths in these vents that look like they may have been cleaned out. Like you see like the growth, like the almost like fungal growth has been like cleaned on certain paths that kind of move around in the in the lower levels and actually go up to the upper levels as well.
Okay. So like cleaned like cleaned like a gelatinous cube has come through and they are spotless, or cleaned like they're like used often and so they don't have the gunk built up on them.
A little bit of both. It's like the gunk isn't built up, but it also looks like there are some spots where it does seem like it has intentionally been cleaned.
Okay. Okay. So after I discover these spots, I think I will not like investigate them, but instead I'll like go like drop down out of the vent or under, climb out or whatever.
Mhm.
And I'll be like ooh, I'll be halfway in the vent and like pop out like and be like, "Hey, Roland," be upside down because it's funny.
What's up?
Some of the spots up here are like most of it's really gross. But some of it is like super duper clean, like it receives cleaning.
Okay.
I guess like what do you think? I don't know exactly. I don't know what to make of it.
I mean, my first thought is someone is using them to move things.
Okay. I mean, they're not that big, but I mean, I guess maybe.
My other thought is there's maybe some people down here with the means to do it themselves, or there's some people down here who are not down here because they can't afford to be, and are instead down here because they need to be for whatever illicit thing they're doing. And Morales and the station maintenance team take care of them as they interact with, a dark web of illegal activity.
Okay.
What are they near?
What are they near?
So they are a little bit like they're about 3.5 feet tall. So like they're not like incredibly small like these areas. There's smaller areas, but the cleaner areas are like large enough that like you can walk through at a hunch. They seem to be like, so they're not all of the vents that are that size that are easier to move through. And a couple of ones that you see of kind of clean are a little bit smaller, like you'd have to crawl through. But in general, they just seem to be like major thoroughfares connecting to the lower levels. You don't have a mag belt or anything, right? Did you get a mag belt?
Yeah, I do have a mag belt.
So, like, to see where they go when you go up, like, you would need to utilize something like a mag belt or something, because it is just like a metal like vent that goes up a ways up towards the main levels.
Okay. Yeah, I don't really know. I guess I could check it out. Also, can you hand me that sponge?
Sure.
I'm gonna start cleaning as I go round.
You're
That's
trying to
how
clean the vents in your area?
Yeah, they could be cleaned. But also, I will investigate that on a different day than today. But I will.
Yeah.
Hey, let me know if you see like a pattern or anything of what's clean compared to what's not.
Sure.
So you want to keep investigating throughout this month, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I think you got to roll a sneak test.
Yeah, I'm so sneaky.
Meanwhile,
Sneaky.
Roland, you were doing another thing, and I wrote down that you got 4 successes. And it wasn't hiring people. Oh, it was getting in touch with criminals. That's what it was.
Yeah, I want to know the shady people. Let them know I got a tree that can eat their problems.
Sure.
I'm so sneaky, 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 snack. Okay. So I do have Lightfoot and Silent Step.
Mm-hmm.
I'm following my lead, but nobody's following. Yeah.
Looks like you are up against an 8.
Oh, okay. What I am the knight. They
Cool.
do not find me.
So you go up and you see some of the spots. It's harder to track them on the main levels because most of the main level ones are clean.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a couple things you notice. There seem to be sort of repurposed cargo drones that move through the vents on the main levels. That like kind of go on like it looks like predetermined routes. Not like all the time, just like, you know, once a week maybe. They go through and clean the vents on the main level.
Mm.
And you think that potentially some of them could maybe be programmed to work on the lower levels, and that might be what happened. But then the other thing you got how much? What was your highest? How many net successes?
Oh, it's 4 net successes. I have a 14 high.
Cool. When you're coming back down, like mid, 3/4 of the way through the month, after kind of scouting out these paths, when you're coming back down to the lower levels, you do hear some other movement, and it doesn't sound akin to the movement of those like kind of drones you heard like moving around, cleaning on the like main levels. And so you kind of find a nice little hiding spot, and you actually hear Harry's voice.
Ooh.
And she's like, Slim, get over here. God, you gotta keep this mask tighter. Well, sorry, it's just, it's so uncomfortable on my nose. Yeah, well, you know what? Getting this stuff down your lungs, I mean, it ain't no heavy lung, but it ain't nice, all right? So, come on, let's just get this stuff through, and then, you guys will be able to eat for the week. When are we going to get to see the bar you work at? You ain't never going to see the bar I work at. No, you're not allowed. It's not happening. First off, too young. Second off, no. And sure enough, you were able to kind of spot from a distance, like from a connecting vent, as Harry leads 2 younger kids. Like she's about 16-ish, and there's like a 12-year-old and like a 10-year-old. It looks like, who are like the carting like a crate between the 2 of them through the vents.
Okay.
Like not a very large one, but like at least like something that requires 2 of them to hold. As she kind of like scouts out the like next pass, she goes, "All right, it's left up here," and then they like kind of disappear around.
Okay. Pax will remember this.
Okay. Roland, you, with Pax kind of either making introductions or at least like pointing you in the right direction, you're able to go to some of the crappier bars around here where there's plenty of criminals. You are introduced to Roxy, either by Pax or just by meeting her. And there's a point where you get you're there with at a bar with Roxy, Marv, Earl, and Lena, who are all drinking, and you're like having some drinks with them, and you're chatting about things, and basically your intention here is to try and like warm them up to the idea of like your usefulness to the criminal underworld.
Yeah, I'm sort of on a fact-finding mission as to like, there's 3 families working this station. They are unaffiliated with them. What's that deal like?
Sure.
Maybe like test the waters for what violent revolt would be, how that would be received by these fine folks. And...
Sure. So you just guided the conversation, and eventually they're drunk, and then Marv's like, there ain't nothing to be done about the family being around here. That's not the family and Morales. They are a tight knit arrangement. It's all the different families. So some of them's tighter than others, but we're just lucky to be able to pick the bones. You see, nothing around here happens without Morales' say so, one way or another. We get a job here and there. We can always trace that intel getting to us via Morales. It's usually, hey, you bought Finnegan's, right?
I see. That was one of yours then.
Oh, no. Way too high profile for us. But that kind of thing. Murder don't happen on this station. People don't die. Right? Sometimes they die like in accidents, and maybe it was a little bit of murder. But like, something like that, a fella, it was a fair fight, according to eyewitnesses. But, that guy, he wasn't from around here. The guy who took him out, what I hear is he was maybe a Jimmy for the family. What was hired to take out Finnegan, because Finnegan wasn't basically Finnegan wasn't paying, so we got the green light to take care of him. But Finnegan had a shotgun and knew how to use it, so it was too hot for anyone down here to take care of. And then lo and behold, not too long after, some strange pistolero walks into Finnegan's bar and walks out with him dead. It was a hell of a fight from what I heard.
What was old Finnegan into that was so important that his, sack of spurs every month was worth calling in a family Jimmy for?
That's a bit beyond me. I don't know. I think maybe he just got fed up with Morales or something like that, or maybe he was skimming off the top, right? Pocketing more money than he was paying. And when they found out and tried to raise his fees, he said no. And then that one thing led to another. He put his foot down and got shot. But I don't think he was a big deal. Ain't no one down in the lower levels a big deal.
No, of course not.
But yeah.
Well, I don't think anyone's suggesting we kick someone try and kick the family out of Tobias Station. They're a global criminal syndicate. That's just simply not going to happen.
Nah. Best we can hope for is they continue to play nice with us. That's, we get enough money to make do. More money than we would. Or not as much money as we would if we worked honest, like you. But, more, we have to work less than you do for our share, and it's enough.
Sure. No, I can appreciate that. I've lived that life.
Yeah, I mean, that's about the long and short of it. If you're looking to find work, we can. We're the kind of people who can keep you in touch with what's allowed. But if you're looking for a big payday, if you're looking to become a top dog, you gotta throw in with the family. They're the ones who are allowed to operate here. They pay Morales for that privilege.
Sure. No, I'm not. I just like knowing what my neighborhood's like and what's going on around, this place that I've staked as my own.
Sure. Well, you keep paying your security fees, we'll stay on our side.
Well, I'd appreciate it if you hear anything. You send it our way, and happy to, with the four of you, get a couple drinks, no charge.
Oh, hear that? A couple drinks, no charge. Roxy's like, I'm always looking to make a deal. Yeah.
I did actually want to see, when I mentioned, no one's looking to, kick the family out, I don't know how I would do it, but I imagine someone with 10 personality could. I pointedly don't mention that no one is considering that Morales might never be,
Sure, you think that maybe they take the meaning a little bit. Also, because you got 4 hits during that conversation, it's already been implied enough, and with Pax giving you some info and you've brought the conversation to the family, you're pretty sure that Roxy is not in the O'Malley family, but she is O'Malley family adjacent. The O'Malley family being the family that kind of runs both Freedom and Liberty City. She hails from there and seems like she talks like she's got an in with the family, but also you can tell it's a little bit of bluster because she's sitting at a table with lesser criminals. She's like a kind of a middle ground between where these guys are and where the family is. But her family connections that she have seem to be O'Malley.
Sure. Her dad works at Nintendo.
Yeah, maybe like her dad's brother works at Nintendo or something like that. Yeah, so that's what you're able to get from that. So before we end for tonight, let's go ahead and see how much money your bar makes. Let's see how much money your bar makes in month 2.
God, I hope more.
It will be more. So, and then, all right. Now, I didn't tell you what you were paying the very good dealer you got, but you are paying him a lot.
Well, I specifically said I only want to hire staff that are going to make me more money than they cost.
Yeah, that's why I didn't get into the grittiness of it. But yeah, I'm prepping you for when I take his giant chunk away.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so
Oh yeah, we also tell Hazel, don't touch the tree. Don't interact with the tree. The tree is Ken's responsibility.
Understood. Don't want none of that. All right. Cool. So, as far as just general business goes, as far as general
Does
business goes... Someone have
to roll a die?
Yeah, someone roll a die. Anyone.
Did you ask because you want to?
I don't mind. I will, but if someone else wants to, that's fine.
I don't. I want to be responsible for none of this.
Wait, sorry. Do you want to do it?
Do your thing. No, I don't care.
Okay. Let's do this blue and purple swirly one.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Yeah.
12.
12? You're
Yeah.
still okay. Nothing is breaking down more than it should.
Man, the terrarium is the thing we really got to keep an eye on.
That's true.
The containment's been breached. Okay, cool. So over the general business wise, it picks up a bit more. Yeah, word's getting out, and you guys actually average about 4.5 spurs a day, just from general business.
Ooh, all right.
And then the poker table earns you an extra 60 spurs this month.
Jeez.
Why did we open a bar? We should open a casino. Roman was right.
And you and you watch as Eugene is fantastic. Everyone at the tables has a great time. He's facilitating good table talk and play. He's giving people pot odds that are totally accurate and giving them recommendations and stuff. But the cards always seem to fall so that there's big pots, right? And then that's a bigger rake for the for the bar. And then when he's dealing blackjack, right? It's always those the people win. There's plenty of people get to walk away making some money, but more people the handful that lose a little bit bigger, and you're making good money off of that. And then he always also the thing that's wild is the way when you're playing poker and manifest at a bar, because there's no smaller denomination than a spur, the buy-in typically ends up being a spur broken up into drinks at the bar. So if you end up with weird change, you can go and drink some of your loss away, or drink to celebrate your victory. But he always manages to make it so people's odds or people's extra chips are just 1 or 2 drinks, right? So so that way they get 1 or 2 drink, and then they're man, I want to keep drinking, so they have to pay a spur to get another few rounds of drinks. He's so good.
I ship Eugene and Hazel so hard.
It's early, but there's a little bit. After hours when he's done and there's nothing and she brings him a drink without him asking, there's a little bit of a friendship at least growing there, if not something else.
Always just disappears, so they only have each other to talk to.
Fantastic. So and then I was actually wrong again because I keep factoring out Harry. The bar actually, over the course of the month before the poker table, made 150 spurs.
And then with the poker table,
is 210. So that's before any expenses or anything. That's just your gross income for the time. So
now we buy the entire stockroom full of board games.
Did you say you already?
I was about to make the same joke.
Did you already pay the security fees and stuff, or do you want me to take that out of this?
I already paid it.
Okay, so you paid 45 for both rent and
basically
security?
Here's what I think. Just give me the expenses and then the profit, and it all goes into what I'm calling bar money. And then at the beginning of the month, I just pay the rent and security fees out of that.
Okay, so not rent and security fee. Okay, so you do have to replace another barrel. Seems like you go through about a barrel a month. So that's 35 spurs out. You're managed to, just with a couple odd jobs for Kilburn, you managed to make it so the maintenance is about 6 spurs worth of maintenance. And then you have to pay Harry 15 spurs, and you have to pay Hazel 20 spurs, and you have to pay Eugene 30 spurs. And nothing out of the ordinary started getting broken or anything like that. So that is 104 spurs before like rent or anything like that.
Sure. So we make 106 in profit.
If that lines up.
It does.
Okay. It's hard because you're taking the rent money out of like a different pool or something like
Basically, I'm just like taking our profit and I add it to this little spot that I've written on my sheet. It says bar money, : and then I just keep adding to it. And then you say, pay rent. It's time to pay your lifestyle.
that. Got it. Cool. Yeah. So that's where you guys are at. Before
rent and security fees at the start of next session.
Yes. So you guys are making some pretty good money.
Not bad.
Even after you pay rent at the beginning of next month, you're gonna have 61 spurs of just pure profit that could go to anything.
Yeah, the bar is considerably more. We're gonna make that secret room a secret compound, and then that secret compound a secret tunnel.
Secret tunnel.
Then that secret tunnel is gonna make us probably more money than owning a bar.
All right, fantastic. So, you guys, that's where we're going to end the session. Moving into the third month of you owning a bar. We'll pick up with that month and see what you guys want to get into. We do have at least one question in the Discord, and I think we have a couple questions in the chat already, so we'll move through those. I know we've gotten a little bit later than we normally do, so let's see what we got. Oh, my Discord updated. Get out of here. Okay, so from the Discord, we have from Argitlam, what would be the hottest peppers on Manifest? How illuminated are said peppers? Argilom elaborated to say he was making hot sauce, and this question occurred to him. It speaks to me because I very much love spicy food and spicy peppers, and there's definitely extremely spicy peppers on Manifest. I don't think any of them are illuminated though. There's not like so much like. While like life on Manifest might be like influenced by the basic building blocks of like luminescence. I don't think any of the peppers are illuminated proper.
I thought about this a lot last night because I was like awake and could not fall asleep, and I was like, I don't know what an illuminated vegetable would do. I just can't.
I bet it's hallucinogenic. It's like a little bit illuminated. Sure. And it's so hot that you trip a little bit.
But like, I think that it's probably, especially because these are peppers are not native to Manifest. They were brought over on the like ships with the humans. I don't think that I don't think they're like super double peppers like illuminated to like I don't think there's any food on Manifest that you're not like boiling with a brick of luminescence that has like luminescence truly imbued in it. Manifest soil is like, while very fertile, is still like a hostile environment to a lot of like food. So much of the food is grown in like hydroponic settings, like human old world home world food is like grown in like hydroponics on top of buildings and stuff like that. And then like the hardier things like wheat or corn will, or like soy, will grow on Manifest a little bit better. So unfortunately, I don't think that there are illuminated peppers, but there are peppers that are hot enough to make you trip anyway.
There's probably like a crazy old man out in the Badlands with his like Scoville lab. he's got like 2 ounces of luminescence. He spent his whole life savings on it, and he's trying to make an illuminated pepper.
It's the beginning of some horrific adventure, I'm sure. All right, we have a couple more questions in the chat from Argitlam. One is, since one of the moons of Manifest was shot today, During the playtesting of Manifest or the podcast period of development, what has been the best or at least your favorite use of Shoot the Moon?
Oh, I've got one. So we were playtesting, or we were running a playtest for a group of friends of mine. And we had I think it was a brawler who had fire resistant armor. And he was like, he had a bomb, I think. And he was like, he was going to try and craft a bomb. He wasn't good at crafting.
Oh my god, I remember this now.
Yeah, and he wasn't good at crafting. So if he failed, it's a catastrophic failure. He was gonna like blow up, and he was like, "What does that mean? What does that look like?" And Tommy was like, "Here's all the stats for what it could possibly look like." And then he shoots the moon, fails. Like it's above 10, and he's like, and we're all like, "Oh my god, this is like the first 20 minutes of the session. Oh no."
The best part was his character didn't tell anyone that he was planning on making some bombs. He was just like,
No.
They were plotting on how to like run some mercenaries out of town. They were like hanging out in a saloon. They had rented rooms. And then he was like, "I want to make some bombs." And I was like, "Okay, you don't really have the skills for that. Like, but here." And he's like, "Well, I see this thing shoot the moon. And how do I do that?" And when I explained it to him, he's like, "Cool, I just leave." And he just like he went way out of town and just started like trying to make a bomb way out of town. That way, if he blew himself up, he didn't blow up the bar.
Right. So he's out there in the wilderness, and he rolls like a 15. And he's like, you blow up, and you take like this much damage. And he's like, "But with fire resistance, it's halved, right?" And Tommy's like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Cool, I have 1 hit point left." So he just like exploded a bomb, and like basically by doing the math, this person had never played Manifest before. It was like, "I'm fine. This is Manifest."
Yeah, he had like
I just
hardened
love it so
heavy
much.
armor with fire resistance.
It
And
was
so
amazing.
So he just there's a big explosion out of town, and everyone's like, "What the hell was that?" And then he comes back just covered in soot and like ash, his armor completely shredded, basically naked, and he's like, "That didn't work."
It was amazing.
That's a good one. I'd forgotten about that.
Yeah, I think about that a lot. Like, I wish, I don't know. It's just great.
There was the one time very early in the playtest where the real funny thing about it is not to shoot the moon, but what ultimately happens like 5 minutes later. But I did shoot the moon once with a gunslinger character as we were like trying to get a scavenger to like leave a wreck. And I shot the moon to get him to leave, and I failed. And Tommy was like, "Okay, well, I guess he's like really good at quick draw now, and he challenges you." And like he still got very shot, but like I remember that because immediately after, Addie's character tries to just calm down a horse. It gets kicked in the face so hard she almost died because Tommy didn't yet know how strong horse kicks should.
I was like, they're not that different. I mean, getting kicked in the head can still like getting kicked by a horse can still mess you up. But yeah, they were a little bit stronger at that point because I was like, I don't know, maybe this is the animal stats. So I rolled really well, and she almost died.
Yeah.
My character miraculously with like a wrangle of 4 rolled like 2 hits, and that was his horse for the rest of
That was his horse for the rest of the time. The rest of the time that you played that stupid character. That goddamn horse that killed my character, who later died anyway in a totally different
Not
way.
related to the horse at all. She
Not
just died.
related. Another animal related death though. Did die. Yeah, fuck that horse, man. Fuck that horse.
Yeah, I do remember the failure of the shoot the moon, and I was like, how does this random scavenger become a catastrophic failure for you to be like, "Hey, get out of here"? And so I was like, how do I do this? And then it was just like, yeah, screw it. This dude's an expert gunslinger now, and you're gonna do a challenge with him. Cool. I don't know, Seth. Did you ever do a weird shoot the moon?
No, I don't think I really did shoot the moon in the early playtests.
Yeah. Yeah. At that point,
Shoot the moon doesn't happen very often.
Yeah.
And I think that's the beauty of it, is that like a lot of times if you're doing what your character is good at, you don't want to shoot the moon unless you're like a thrill seeker. So like it's only when like you're gonna probably fail anyway and you're almost out of grit and you're like, what am I gonna do with this 2 grit? I shoot the moon. And then you like succeed or you blow yourself up.
Yeah. All right. And then I don't recognize the quote we're supposed to be filling, but there's the final thing from Argot Lam was it's the beginning of a quote that says, "It's a beautiful day in the garden, and you're a horrible blank." And it says, "Which manifest creature do you place in this position?" And I wish, yeah, yeah, you just automatically you hate rope rights.
Bird almost got me.
Squawk's pretty good for that, not knowing the context of the quote. Just calling someone a squonk. I love that. Oh, goose is the creature normally. All right, well, that's a bird.
Like the opening crawl from Horrible Goose Game or Untitled Goose Game.
Beautiful day in the garden. You're a horrible rubberite. Yeah, I like squonk still. It sounds right. If you're saying calling someone a horrible squonk is pretty good.
You horrible squonk.
All right, cool. So that's it for questions in the chat and the Discord. We are going to call it an evening. We hope you guys enjoyed watching. We had fun playing. And we are going to be back on again August 25th with some more manifests. Let's see what these very successful saloon owners have in store for us.
We're going to do a revolution. Revolution.
Not a revolution. That one is much worse.
All right. Thank you guys so much for watching.
Bye.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. Ah!